Here we go. Thursday night. Crossfire. Glad to have everybody here tonight. Great to have this amazing panel. As you can see, we've got some great people here already. The panel will expand as we kind of go through the first hour into the second hour. I see the great WoolleyGamer. Wooly, shout out to you, buddy. Glad to hear everything's all right. Wooly put everything out there, so I won't get too revealing. But, Wooly, I am very happy to hear you and the family are safe. And great on the community to get that man back a PS5. I don't think he could have went a week without Arc Raiders, to be honest with you. I think he would have been sent right to the emergency room. So shout out to Wooly. Great to see him here. Guys, great to have everybody here. Please hit that like button if you would. Shout out to Ghost in the Garage. Ghost, if you're not on a boat somewhere in the Pacific or on a helicopter, you can always join the show. Love it when Ghost pops in and gives his 2 cents. It's great. He's like, Mooch, I'm going to pop in for a few minutes, give you a couple thoughts, and I get the hell out of here. Great to see Ghost here as well. We got a great, fantastic podcast for you guys planned. A lot of topics, a lot of games coming out. This is kind of exciting. Not going to lie to you. You guys know I'm loving Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is fantastic. Got about almost 40 hours into Arc Raiders. I'm enjoying the hell out of that. Midnight tonight is Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Black Ops 7. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be something that I can't wait to hear what the panel's got to say. And then I want to talk a little bit about Battlefield 6 because, you know, that whole thing that it just kind of cruised on up. Arc Raiders comes out and it kind of teetered off a little bit. So we'll talk and see what's going on with the guys with that as far as that goes. But guys, take a second and hit that like button. Please tweet it out. Let everybody know that we are live here in New York. And right above that great description, you'll see the join button. If you want to join the Mooch Maniac family members, you just press that button and voila, just like that, you get a couple of cool Mooch emotes. I got to get a couple of new emotes out there. You know what I mean? I really do. I got to get, shout out to Lazy who's listening. We're going to be streaming this weekend. Shout out to Lazy and Blaze 4K. Lazy, listen, I need emotes. I don't know what we're going to do. I've had the same 3 emotes forever. Lazy yells at me for having a lazy setup here. So let's just find out if I can get some cool stuff. Shout out to Lazy and Blaze. Can't wait to game with those guys later on in the weekend. Let's get to this amazing panel. You guys know him as Jez7780. He is back from vacation. And Jez, I don't know how you do it, buddy, but every single afternoon I look at my phone. He's like, I don't know. Let's get you guys want to do the Grindhouse? Let's do it tonight. Jez, you have the everlasting, gobstopper, buddy. I don't know how the hell you do it, but welcome back to the show, buddy. Welcome back from your vacation. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. Yo, thanks. Yeah, vacation was wild, and then come back and it's crazy. Yeah, I know. My voice suffers from all those podcasts, but it's worth it. And it's gonna be a good show tonight. Crazy stuff going on, but had a little bit of portable gaming on the go, while I was on the cruise. Yeah, I was able to rock with the Steam Deck. Did a little bit of some portable gaming on the go, but otherwise, I played a bunch of Arc Raiders before I left. That thing dropped, and I was upset I had to go on vacation because I wanted to play more of it.
Yes,
and loving that Battlefield.
Well, listen, I'll tell you right now, I had taken a quick vacation myself, and it was when Arc Raiders was doing their beta weekend. So I missed all that. I saw everyone was excited about it. I thought it looked good. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it this much. We'll get into that in a minute. But Jess, great that you're back and you're doing your show. Great to have you on the show. Ghost of the Shell is here. Shout out to Ghost. Ghost, you're going to have to explain later on when we talk a little bit about Arc, just how playing with Wooly and a couple of the guys terrifies you. Yo, Ghost, great to have you, buddy. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. Just enjoying the time that I have, and just avoiding Nib and Wooly at all costs. And, awkward. But you and I, we've matched up and played really well, and so just enjoying the game. And like I said, we'll get into that later. But just gaming and enjoying retirement. And I pop into work. It's funny. I go to work whenever my wife has a bunch of people at the house. I'm like, she'll be like, I got my mother-in-law. And all
I gotta go to work.
I was like, oh man, the work's calling.
I gotta go to work. What do you got to do at work? I don't know, but there's something going on, and I got to do it.
Something's going on.
I got things to do. Shout out to Ghost, man. Yo, Ghost, great to have you here, man.
Something to do.
Appreciate you being here, Ghost. Shout out to Jack Move Johnny. Jack is with us tonight. Jack, by the way, I don't know what this means, but I kind of know, okay? I'm 100% Italian, and so is Blaze 4K. Blaze says, when you see Jack on a show, tell him I said my love and regards. I think that's him trying to say he wants you back on Solidcast, but I'm not sure. Shout out to Jack. Jack, great to have you with us tonight, buddy. A lot of interesting topics tonight. And the one topic that we're going to get into and start with is one that I know the community comes after you when you give your opinion. I can't wait to hear your opinion on the air tonight. But Jack, how you doing this evening?
Man, I'm doing good, Mooch, man. And Blaze, I feel like that might be the kiss of death, Mooch. I don't know. Blaze and
It might be.
I mean, I think Blaze a made man. I don't know about you, but I think, you know what I mean? Like,
I do too, believe me. He sends these
worried,
messages to me, just like you, man. And I'm like, how am I supposed to read that? Yeah, Jack, great to have you with us. It's definitely going to be an interesting show, and I know you're not going to hold back at all, which I'm psyched for. And last but certainly not least, right now, the Wolf is with us. Wolf, listen, tribute to you as well, buddy. The amount of time that you put into your content and the artwork and the thumbnails and the Tekken, like, what do you call it there, tournaments that you put on. Buddy, I don't know how you do it. All I know is I'm glad you do it. But Wolf, thanks for joining us tonight on a busy Thursday for you. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just gaming out here, man, and
Yes,
enjoying
sir.
life.
Yes, sir. Life's short, right? That's what we used to say that all through COVID when we were podcasting. Life is too short. We don't say it enough, man. So enjoy what you enjoy. That's the truth of the matter. Wolf, great to have you with us. So you know what? Listen, the great Death Singer will be joining us too as the first hour goes on. But I do want to talk a little bit. And I see a lot of you guys saying the Yotei sales. Yes, we are going to be talking about that. Last Razor. I'm not sure if what you're saying is necessarily true, but we'll get to that when we get to that topic. I do want to start, Jack. Let me put you on the hot seat first here, just because a lot of people want to talk about this. It seemed to be what today's hot topic was, and it's the Horizon Steel Frontiers game. It's collaborated by, I think it's NC Soft developed by them, and definitely Guerrilla helped out. And there's a lot of people upset that it's only on PC and mobile, and it's not coming to PS5. And, shout out to Wolf. I'm going to give Wolf credit here, okay? I had it in my notes, but Wolf was the one that reminded me of it just before the show went live. He's like, Guerrilla came out and said they've got their dedicated multiplayer game still in the works for PlayStation. So it's not like they got completely passed over. And I don't want to put any words in anybody in the panel's mouth right now. Jack, what was your take when you saw it? Do you think the PlayStation gamers kind of got snubbed on this? Do you think that's the case? Or do you think, if you remember back, you go back about 3-4 months ago, we saw that PlayStation was hiring people for PC and mobile, and a lot of people from the other side of the aisle. What were they saying, Jack? They're like, that means day and date's on the way, right? And it's not necessarily day and date. They're doing other projects like this. So, Jack, where are you on the whole front? Does it kind of piss you off that a game like this doesn't just show up on the PS5 library? Or are you like, no, that's all right. Let them get their time in the sun over there doing these mobile games, and PlayStation games should be PlayStation games?
Well, I kind of feel like this is how I feel, right? If a game is a Sony first party IP and it can be ran on a Sony console,
yes,
it should be on the console.
Okay,
that's just how I feel.
Okay.
Now, granted, I want to see more of this game. It might not even be worth, we might see gameplay and be like, yeah, there's some dog shit. Just like some mobile game, right? So at that point, it's like, who gives a fuck? But this is my thing, bro. Now, I was talking with J-Man about this. If Sony can see the value in having the game only available on mobile and PC through, I hear you got to download some type of emulator, play it on PC, you got to do a workaround. But if they can see the value in having their IPs on mobile only, certain games, shouldn't they be able to see the value in not having their games on shit like PC and other platforms? I don't know, man. It's just a weird market. To me, I'm not a business guy. Maybe I'm tripping. It's just a weird market strategy for me. And we used to make fun of other companies. When the Age of Empires and the Gears of War Tactics or Gears Pop or whatever was coming out on Xbox, and it wasn't really on Xbox, it was on PC. We laughed at them for that. We clowned them for that stuff, right? So now it's like, bro, what made it worse is the optics. Shout out to Persona, bro. It was the 5th anniversary of the PS5, and you announced 2 first-party games, and neither one of them is coming to the platform. It's like, bro, what are y'all doing?
It's true.
Y'all
that is an odd
console user.
An odd look. Yes, it is.
Extremely. And one last thing I'll
say. No, Jack, speak, please.
I do feel like, and we just had State of Play Japan. I do feel like this is a move to get more Japanese users involved. They big on mobile over there. They big on handheld gaming over there. So I think this is a move to get them more involved, the NC Soft. So I see why they're doing it. I don't necessarily agree with why they're doing it. I think this should also be on PlayStation. And I know they're making a standalone MMO. Guerrilla got one word. Hey, man, give us a choice. I mean, we can never have too many games, right? So that's how I feel.
And so, you know what? Honestly, and Jack, I got to be honest with you. This is what I was saying to Wolf before. Wolf, I'm going to give you the microphone here. Wolf, you were kind of making a point on the other side of it. Wolf, I'm kind of torn here. I like coming out and having my one side on this. I'll give my 2 cents in a minute. But Wolf, where were you on this when you saw the news break about this PC mobile game?
Once I saw that it was an MMO, I checked out. I tweeted this out earlier. The last MMO I played was Final Fantasy 11 on PS2 when they gave you the hard drive. That was the last MMO I was ever interested in, played, and that was it. Horizon's a great franchise. I love the 2 games they put out. Platinum, great. But it's not up there for me to be getting into an MMO. So when I saw this and I was like, it's going to mobile and on PC with some other software and crap you got to download, I was like, whatever. But a lot of people out there told everybody, no more live service. No, we don't do that. I hate that PlayStation's doing this. PlayStation puts a live service on mobile. Oh, no, we can't have that. No, we can't have that. I thought you didn't care about this. So, yeah, I get like Persona's point, like, the fact that they did this on the 5-year anniversary of the PS5. Yeah, that was a stupid move. But that's not why a lot of people were complaining in the community. He was the only one that really gave some like explanation as to like, why it was a bad move and why the optics are bad. But everybody else's complaints were not following that. Everybody else's complaints were, oh no, it's going to mobile and PC. But you guys didn't care about live service, so why do you care all of a sudden?
Yeah, and shout out to Eric, the producer. He just wrote me DM right here. He goes, Mooch, Horizon game is only on PC in Korea via NCSoft's Purple emulator. So this seems to be quite specific. This is them trying to reach out and doing something with an IP that's well known and trying to get new customers. It's a lot of times, don't get me wrong, what we do these podcasts, we are talking games, we're having a good time, we get excited for new IP, we get excited for new versions of genres in our favorite IPs worlds. So I definitely understand some of the frustration, but these are other attempts that they're making to reach out to consumer bases that were not necessarily buying their product. Now, the thing you might say, the only thing I would say to Eric, the producer, is, okay, fine, PC in Korea, but the thing is, if it's not on the console, ultimately, don't they want people? The whole idea is always to put that lure out there so that people will buy the console, right? So if these games are on PC, maybe that they're saying, well, we'll introduce it, the Koreans play more on PC, and then they will buy the console later. Is that the truth? That I don't know. Ghost, what do you think when you see this? By the way, real quick shout out to Petitius Prime for becoming a member on the Mooch Maniac family members. I appreciate that. It means the world to me. And TrueWiddy says, I blame everyone who said the PC choice was okay. Shout out to TrueWiddy. Ghost, what do you think from a business sense? Is this them just trying to get their IP better, well known in different markets?
Yeah, I mean, and I think, in 22 they bought a company called Savage Studios, which primarily deals with like mobile gaming, right? And even though this Horizon IP is not through Savage, the Ratchet and Clank one is though, and so I think this is just one more. I'm going to agree with Jack Move. This is making really big inroads and pushes into the Asian market, Korean and China, and those guys primarily Japan. They primarily play on handhelds and mobile devices and PC. So I think it's just using an established IP that's made all the money it's going to make as far as with the original 2 games, and then trying a little bit something different and kind of seeing kind of almost like a test case and seeing how well it does, or if it's well received with the public or stuff like that. So I'm not a fan of it because I got to agree with Wolf. It was the 5th anniversary and 2 at least well-known IPs go elsewhere other than us getting an opportunity or a choice to see if we want to dabble into it. It is what it is, and it's just one more of one more way that Sony is just kind of expanding and testing different, different markets. So yeah. Anyway, that's my take.
What do you? So I mean, honestly, so Jez, I'll go to you on this. Jez, what do you? I mean, you've heard what the panel's saying here. I mean, were you outraged?
When I first saw it, and the way the news was, like the nuances were not explained, and it was just like sort of like this game that they showed it. And when I saw it, I was like, "Yo, wow, this looks. This is not no autistic kind of like cartoon looking game. Like it looks pretty damn cool. Like on this thing when I just saw the trailer of it and then found out that it wasn't on PlayStation. So I agree with Jack in the sense like it's really the way the messages and the delivery is of these kind of things. Like we try to figure out like what's their reach, what's it for, who's it for, what's it is. But the thing is like you can never have enough games. And if they're not putting it on their platform and this is sort of a venture, like I do think they need to do some sort of clarification on like what's the purpose of this and give some explanation. Like, it's you're trying and you talk about mobile, and then like there's rumors of like a PlayStation handheld, and it's like, okay, well, you put it on phones or you want it on the handheld? Like, are you going to push a handheld with some games and you have phones out there with games? Like,
yeah,
kind of like, I guess you're just trying to ride every single aspect of it. But again, it's I feel that, it's just more the delivery of it and how they, how the message was 50th anniversary and things like that. And I agree. Like, if they can make a game that's capable on the stuff, then put it on everything. And, everybody says everything everywhere. And it's like, well, hey, no, just for mobile games. Well, okay, well, if Gorilla's making one. Don't you think it would be better to kind of present them both as like, hey, here's Gorillas and here's their other game, especially I think this mobile one's coming out like in 2 years, right? Like,
is it a ways out?
I think it is.
I know. I saw there was footage of it shown. It didn't look like it was.
Or maybe it was shown 2 years ago. I don't know.
Didn't look like it was that far out.
Years. And then a Ratchet multiplayer game, like, dude, throw it on a friggin' Portal or something. Like, throw it on the PlayStation. We could play. Everybody play. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, you're just gonna make it just for phones in Korea, just for phones here. It's like, they're all about putting their games everywhere. More people. Everybody's like, these online games need more people. Then, that makes no sense.
That's a good point. That's the first thing they say. Yeah,
like the Phil Ness of the bullshit of like, how they did Gears Tactics on PC. He announced it on E3 stage in front of a whole bunch of Xbox fans. Like, Gears Tactics on PC, and and it was just like, whoa, that's kind of weird. Like, you just do keyboard and mouse support. So it was like something like that. I was like, whoa, is Sony doing something similar? Like, what that? Like, you got a platform, you're doing that, so
Going to what you're saying, I'm still away. When they start putting games on other platforms, they said it's gonna fund new projects for the console. It's gonna. I'm once again asking. We already however many years deep we is in these PC releases. I'm once again asking what games did it fund and what new experiences are we getting?
Yeah.
I see a new Ratchet and Clank experience. We're not getting it. I see a new Horizon experience. We're not getting it. Like, come on, man. What are we talking about?
That Ratchet thing was pretty damn cool. And do I have phones here down under? Yeah, I got a phone, but I don't want to play touchscreen on my stupid little phone like that.
What do you mean, guys? It was funding those speakers in the monitor.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that hurt.
Massive, we got a phone. You're this shit. We bought a fucking $700 console. What you mean that we got a phone?
You got a $78 PlayStation DualSense controller, but they want me to tap on a screen for some bullshit.
Yeah, I do see your point on that. Like Jack said, Jack was like, well, these things were supposed to be investments to make for more games. Then the games come out and they pass the console. Well, let me ask you this. So, Jack, let me ask you, because do you think if this game launches on PC out there in Korea and it does what it's supposed to do, and then it makes its way over, they just wanted to get that game out there because they had that team develop it specifically for that area of the world, and then it comes back over here. It could be one of those scenarios. The biggest, so two parts, right? Do you think it coming to console later is acceptable? A, B. Like Jez was just saying, how about talking? Xbox talk too much. PlayStation doesn't say enough. That's me, right?
Amen to that. Yeah.
So, Jack, what if this game ends up coming on PlayStation 5, beginning of next year or something like that, or middle of 6 months after it launches on the PC store front?
I can see that happening if it go over there and do what it need to do, and it make some leg way and it's getting this revenue. But at the same time, Mooch, I'm not a second class citizen, right? I am a PlayStation 5 owner.
That's right.
I pre-ordered it day one. I've been down with them since PS1. Hey man, listen, we gotta start standing up for shit, right? Like I said, when Xbox started getting first party games made by other people and it's coming to PC, but it ain't gonna touch the console. Everybody had 1,001 excuses why it was like that. It ain't that big of a deal. Now look at the situation they in. Now I'm not saying PlayStation gonna hop all the way off the porch like that, but you gotta nip some shit off at the bud sometime, man. I don't like this move. You know what I mean? I understand they trying to, and they've already announced, we're gonna leverage our IPs to new developers, and we gonna branch off with the mobile. I'm cool with all that, but. And you know what I really think it is too, though. I hate to be this guy, but if they release Cadence was a little bit better, I probably wouldn't have gave it. I probably wouldn't. Let me not curse. I probably wouldn't have cared for real. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Now we just got Ghost. Granted, we got Ghost of Yotei, great game. But if they was just firing on all cylinders, nobody would have batted an eye at this. But we're 11 months deep. It's about to be a whole new year, and we got one first party game this year. And you announced 2 first party IPs for a different platform yesterday. Like, come on, brother, that look crazy.
Yeah, I do.
The other thing too is like this whole venturing out like their IP to other developers, like that is a slippery slope. Like, that's one thing that Nintendo does is that they keep their IP to make sure that when you see a Mario, like you're gonna make sure that stuff quality and has that Nintendo seal of approval. And look at what they're doing Horizon. They did Lego Horizon. That game did not do pretty well, and that's a blemish on your IP. And now you're gonna have NCSoft making your thing. This better be good. Like it better be up to your standards because you got to be careful. You have other people touching your IP. You better have that oversight. Look what happened with Battletoads. Dan, they made Dahlia Studios made that frigging game with Battletoads, and that was not the Battletoads animation we wanted. But Microsoft wasn't making that, and that you could see like if Sony, just like with the Lego Horizon, like was that beneficial to the Horizon universe? Like if you're gonna make other people use your IP, that's a risk. That's a slippery slope, and you want to value your IP. You don't want anybody to touch it and give you bootleg Aloy. And that's Herman's girlfriend, by the way. That's my girlfriend. Herman loves Aloy. He puts her in everything.
He does play
so you gotta watch.
One thing that it's both a blessing and a curse, right? That Sony is this worldwide company, and they're worldwide, they're worldly known. They have such reach with their games and with their hardware. But with that though, you have to appeal to so many different types of individuals, right, to stay relevant or to stay in the mind's eye. And so I think this is just one more avenue, whether it blows up or if it goes away, right? Like you have to. I think that you have to make these risky or risque, decisions in order to expand. And so I think sometimes we get caught up that as Americans and as PlayStation Western gamers, what we enjoy, what we like, and that may not be the case, worldwide.
So you know what? Honestly, to be Ghost, I'm glad you made that point. So shout out to Batishas Prime. He makes a point here. He says, "Isn't this the same thing that's going on with Where Winds Meet?" He said that game started as a PC game in China and now it's on console. So I mean, is this a tactic that I shouldn't say we get used to, but like, I mean, listen, things are definitely different. This isn't like the PS4, Xbox One era. This generation has changed. A lot of people said that this generation was going to just go exactly the way Xbox wanted it to go, where play everything, play anywhere with whoever you want, wherever you want. Didn't quite go that wild, but we are seeing the branches of how things in this business is evolving, happening right in front of our eyes. I mean, it's funny because we say this isn't what we want from certain teams and certain groups. But if you remember, Jack, you remember this, and the reason I just say Jack is Jack was there when we were all podcasting back in the day 10 years ago. Plus, is the biggest thing that was a big problem was DRM, Jack, and the biggest other problem was physical media. They're taking away your physical media. They're taking away something that you had physical, your hand on the disc, and you own that, and now they took that away, right? Now we don't talk about that. So now the industry has shifted to what we're seeing here. And we're like, this isn't the company we know. I think every 10 years, all these companies take a shift. They don't all take the same shift, but they all do take a shift. Ryan says in the super chat, where were these people when Destiny Rising came out? Now, I don't remember. I remember the name of that guy. I didn't play that game. Is this a similar situation?
Yeah, it's the Destiny's mobile game.
I don't play Destiny, so I didn't
play. I played Destiny. I did not play the mobile game. I remember
the out of season April Fool's joke.
I got to give crap credit. The one thing that we used to say when Xbox used to talk a lot about mobile, and this goes for PlayStation 2 now, and it goes for anybody making mobile games. I said this even when the Mario game came out on iPhone. Okay, I don't care which company we're talking about. I don't want to play any of these. Who the hell wants to play a game on their phone? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to. Even the like, I will say this: the Portal, the Steam Deck, the screen is acceptable. People are like, I don't like the 2-hour battery. You don't like the 2-hour battery? Who the hell wants to play 130 hours of a game on an 8 to 10 inch screen and a phone smaller? You know,
it's a convenience factor for certain situations.
Yes,
like if I'm
but
in
they're
bed with my
limited
wife and I wanna play
situations, right, Wolf?
Dispatch for an hour, sure.
Right. Fact.
But that's it.
Exactly. An hour of playing a game mobile, I get. I don't understand it otherwise. Shout out to TrueWiddy, says there hasn't been a Ratchet and Clank multiplayer since Gladiator. Why can't we get this? Why can't we get the NC Soft MMO? This is stupid. We are getting less with PC. You know, I mean, I really do. I see your point, TrueWiddy. ST says, Mooch, please read this. I think the reason isn't on PS5 is very clear. Why Call of Duty Mobile isn't on consoles competing with main Call of Duty. Why Diablo Immortal isn't on console against Diablo 4. So SD's saying it's a strategic move where mobile games do not compete with the full IP dedication. Listen, SD, I do see, and I'm connecting the dots like you are, SD, but I bet you a lot of people would say, you know, they're not buying into that. They're just not. They're saying, why not put it on there anyways? Jack made a point to say, if you want to have all these games and we're going to have games as a service, and the reason that you're going to put these games everywhere is to get more players, and it is an MMO, I do got to side with Jack on that. I mean, you want more people, well, then why are you excluding 84 million PS5 players, right? Like, it kind of goes against the grain there. I do see that that's what others did. Ocelot says, we all know what people would say if they released a mobile game on PS5. The game is made for mobile. That's where I wanted to go. Jack, you know, a lot of people in the community love to do this. And Jez, you hear this a lot too, is they'll say, okay, well, listen, if there's all this outrage right now, then when the Horizon MMO, or not the MMO, when the Horizon multiplayer game comes out, I want to see 5 million people on that thing day one, but we're not gonna. Right? So everyone's clamoring for this.
Yeah, and the thing is there's two sides to everything. Everybody
that's what I'm
does
saying.
The extremes of both. Right. Everybody does the extremes of one end to the other. Like, oh, we all hate this, we all like this, we all hate this, we all like this. The thing is like, it's the messaging of how it's done. Like, and it should be, if it should be on PlayStation, and if it's trash, then that's it. But give, like, you know, by excluding your own console, the first party console in a game, I think there should be a little more of an explanation of like, hey, this is our venture, or call it Project Mobile, or something, like have some sort of initiative to go with the communication, so that, you know, there's an understanding with it, because it's just like, well, why not PlayStation 5? And they don't, and there's no answer, and there's no response from them.
No.
And everybody just runs with the shit.
That's right.
And that's the problem. And you got your extremists. It's like, I don't want mobile games on my PlayStation. Yeah, I don't. But who the hell knows that? And if you told me that was a mobile game, dude, I looked at the video, I was like, oh, would you know it was a mobile game? Like, looking at it, like, it's not no Tinky Winky bullshit.
It looks good.
Decent.
Actually, it looks pretty damn good.
You know, when people say a mobile game, I'm thinking like, Shadow cast like Aloy, like as cartoons, like Scooby Doo, and running around and stuff. You show me that video, I'm like, oh, that's a mobile game. It's a gotcha game. Who the hell knows what it is? But the fact that you're not explaining what this whole thing, and then the Purple People Eater emulator and all this horse shit. Like, we're finding that out after the fact. After 20 million websites run with PC and mobile, it works on a Steam box. Like, it's like, yo, and I don't even know if it does, but it's wild shit out there. And it's crazy, like, knowing how people misinform and just go crazy with shit, that you would have more clarity in the way. You did a whole sizzle reel video on this shit, but you're not explaining where they didn't even have on the video where it's there. I think it was like on the article or the website. Gorilla confirmed it on a tweet. I don't even know how the hell it happened, but it was like trickling out, man. But it just boggles my mind that these huge ass companies have PR departments and community managers and all this horse shit. But meanwhile, they don't know how to get their messaging out to the community about their games. And they wind up having all this biased bullshit about people either hate it before they even announced. People hate it because it's over here. And it's because they suck at messaging, these big ass companies.
Yeah.
And I think that they need to clarify this shit. They need to explain. Community manager, my ass. Where's the community manager? Where's that friggin' guy? That guy, Seal, or whatever the hell his name is. That guy that told in the videos and shit. Where's his ass explaining where this stuff is going? With this is an announcement. This is a PlayStation initiative. Explain it.
Yeah.
Don't have some bullshit website that just uses a sizzle tweets. Spread your news.
Yeah.
It's your message. You spread your goddamn news. And I'm sick of these friggin' companies and not getting the real information from the horse's mouth. And this is on all of them. They're all punch of shit. All of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just don't think they're getting the word out there. What do you think, Wolf?
Yeah, like he said, how do you have an entire team and you can't just get one simple message out? That goes for so many companies, like even BRAP Gaming. Like I'll never understand how you have literally an entire team.
Mm-hmm.
No one can draft up a simple message. Hell, put a blog page, something in detail for us to know like what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the fact that like information leaks out all the time. Oh, this was posted by mistake. How are you? First of all, why are you drafting it to begin with, and then putting it out there? Like I'll never understand that shit. I don't know
if so I think when it comes to this here, they would have to explain why. I mean, there's a lot of people in the chat here that are saying it's not for the U.S. market. That's the whole point. There's probably games that launch here that maybe don't launch in other markets. That's also probably true. But a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but why would you ignore the largest market, right?
That's very true. But again, why is that part not being communicated clearly? Like it's not. That should be at the forefront of things. Only in this country. If you started from that, then you cut out your audience from being pissed off because it's like, oh, they're only launching this over here. But that's not in your communication.
Aren't they selling it in America though? So if I own an American cell phone and I'm on the American servers, I can't purchase none of these games. Is that what they telling me? Like,
I have no idea. We don't even know if it costs anything to download the game.
You don't know when's coming out.
Is the game going to be free?
Yeah, this is a bad mess. And going back to something that Jez said, the way they was promoting it seemed like this was natively on PC. You could boot it up off Steam or whatever. See, that's what really had people, including me. That's what really had
people. Yeah,
people
that's what I saw initially.
So I have to wait a whole nother day to hear, oh no, you got to do this workaround and download this backdoor emulator. Like, who the like, yo, if they would have said
yet another launcher.
Another one.
They would have said that at the beginning. I probably would have felt differently. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
I think the mix up with the messaging though is just that we live in an era where, if you get the messaging wrong, that's it for your game. That's it for you. Like,
dude.
And so, it's almost it's like, cancel culture, right? So if you mess the messaging up, and that's why you see so much ambiguity and just kind of obtuseness when it comes to some of the messaging, no release dates, no price points, no anything, because like I said, if you get it wrong, people are gonna lay into you, and that can be before the game gets out. That's really what happened, and I know you see it a lot. You saw it with Concord, even though Concord was dog shit, you know what I'm saying, but you saw the messaging prior to the game even being released. You're seeing it with Marathon, you're seeing it with a lot of other things, but it happens a lot with Xbox, unfortunately. So you know what I'm saying, like I think these companies are hip to it, and they put out the most bland statement or blog post and don't put a lot of content or don't give a lot of forewarning to people for that sole reason.
So shout out to Eric, the producer here. He's writing me, and again, this is somewhat of what he's gathering information. There's no release date. This will be on phones. This goes to what you were saying, Jack. This will be on phones worldwide. PC is only in Korea. It's likely to come to PS5 later, just not at launch. But again, the thing is, though, wait a minute. So shout out to Eric, the producer. He's out there. He's going through 7,000 documents to find this information and puts it into a paragraph. Why? Right? Why isn't it that so? This goes to what we're saying. I said Xbox talks too much. Sony doesn't. They don't say enough. The gaming ledger here, he's been on fire as well on X. He says PlayStation is going to lease their IPs to other devs. I am almost certain NCSoft paid for the development in this partnership. That's the stuff we don't hear behind the scenes as well. There's a lot of these business deals that are going on behind the scenes, and they're cutting deals to be able to use NCSoft for something, but then they get something from Sony. Again, I'm not saying that that's what happened, but there are deals being cut out of the gaming ledger. I appreciate that. But Boar Country is here. The show can start. Babor, and Babor's a big PlayStation fan. He says PlayStation taking its customers for granted. Very unhappy face right there. Babor very upset and disappointed. I'll be honest with you. So I kind of look to games as I want to play them. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little bit with Wolf, the way Wolf's feeling. So I think the messaging was bad. Do I think it should be on PlayStation for the reasons Jack said? Yes. The reasons Persona was talking about? Yes. Myself personally, this game probably would be something that I wouldn't have picked up anyways. Me, unless it was like something they probably would have thrown in PS Plus anyways. Liquid Tada says Sony should just let Tencent do Light of Motirum. Always say
that's the
wrong.
one that they're suing on because it has the likeness of Horizon. Remember?
Oh, that's the one that looks just like it's the Horizon knockoff. Okay.
Yep. And apparently,
Tencent
I don't
gave
know.
such a
Again, I
crazy
forget, but I thought Sony did go to them first to try to make the game, and then they said no, and then they went with NCSoft, and then Tencent was like, "We're going to do it anyway," and they kind of did this Light of Motrium, and then Sony suing them for the likeness of Horizon.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the story, but I know that that's the one that they're suing about.
That game looks so copy and paste, and then when they change when they change the cover art to try to like skate under the rug, they're like, "No, there's nothing to see here."
Herman's like, "My girlfriend."
Nah. So all right, so
and again, they keep going with the Horizon one. Like it's just like, and I know Guerrilla's working on another Horizon with that stuff, and it's just, I don't know. They love I said Herman loves his Aloy, man. He puts her in everything.
Yeah, I do think that like it would be. I mean, here it is that people are really harsh, and you might say rightfully so on Naughty Dog, right? So they did the Uncharted series. Then they went over and did The Last of Us, and yes, we don't have to go down. I'll agree with everybody. Yes, I love The Last of Us. You guys know that, but they have definitely milked that, right? But now everyone's looking forward to him. When we talk Naughty Dog, they've even left the factions to talk. Now we're on to Intergalactic. It would be nice to see them step away from Horizon and go into, Guerrilla go into a new IP or something that's not, even a multiplayer. I know that's a different, genre within. Or pardon me, a different, multiplayer set. But I personally would like to see something different from that studio. I think we've done enough of the Aloy stuff. I know a lot of people that are Aloy fans are not going to like that I said that.
I like the Horizons, but I can't imagine. I would love to see those graphics, like what they do with that tech, in something else. Like, I agree. Like, do something like I would definitely want something else with that tech. Man.
Liquid comes back and he says, make it a spin-off of Horizon if they're letting developers use their IP. TrueWiddy says, I would have picked up the MMO if they gave it to us. Yeah, I mean, okay. Well, yeah, I hear that. So, all right, so let me ask you guys this. Since we're also waiting for Death Singer to get here to talk about Valve, we'll wait a little bit long, but I do want to ask you guys, since we're talking about this and hitting the right mark, not hitting the right mark. So, Jez, I'll start with you. Jez, what did you think of the... What did you think of the State of Play Japan? Was that something that
I thought you were going to talk about the box, the game box.
Well, we're going to. You mean the Valve box? We're going to talk about that in a minute.
I watched a little bit of it. I kind of like Fatal Frame was one of the games that I was like, oh, that looks cool, but I checked out. I really didn't watch it. I saw there was a monitor announced, but that was about it for me. Like maybe I was still in vacation mode.
Yeah, a lot of people I was seeing. I watched it and I didn't come away with a lot of things from it. But again, there is that. A lot of people say that wasn't for your audience. So Jack, was that? Can we sit there and say this? We weren't the audience for that again, or no? You can't keep using that over and over again.
Not for us.
It's not for us.
Listen, I watched the whole thing, and when they showed the State of Play picture, and there was a couch, 2 couches, and a chair. I said, you know what? But I gave it a chance, and I will say they showed a lot of games, and I was bored to death, to be honest. I was bored to death. But in my chat, I did a live reaction because, they be wanting me to. But my chat was saying, Jack, because I was like, it's good. They're announcing a lot of things I haven't seen before. They was like, Jack, they showed all these games at the Nintendo Direct a couple of months ago. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that. So I'm like, okay, so it's some regurgitated games, I guess. But I thought it was nice that they was actually announcing a lot of games that is coming out. All these games are coming out fairly soon, right? So it's like I can't be mad about that, and it is a market for those games. It's just it ain't me though. That one for me.
Yeah, so that at least you're standing on business the way you were earlier, Jack. You're saying, listen, they may not be for me, but they're coming to the console. You know what I mean? None of these are going to be
respect
right.
that. Yeah, I
So
respect that.
you do got to respect that. Doesn't mean that every game shown. A lot of these Nintendo Directs that I watch, outside of the big games that we're always waiting to see Nintendo put out there, of course, the Metroids, the Zeldas, Mario games, etc. But like a lot of the Directs are not for me too, Jack. You know what I mean? And there's people doing in-depth breakdowns of these Nintendo Directs, and I'm like, God, listen, you want to know who's talented on YouTube? Go check out those folks, because so they're breaking down some games that I'm like, it ain't that deep. I don't know how you're doing that, but man, they get into it, and it's like I thought this was very much. A lot of people were calling this PlayStation's Nintendo Direct. So yeah, your audience was right, Jack. I don't know, Wolf, Ghost. What did you guys think before we get into a little bit more of the Valve talk?
It wasn't for me. Other than the Tokon game, and I knew that's what it was. It wasn't directed at the American audience. I mean, it said it there in the title. They have eclectic tastes over there, and they like different types of genres of games and different visually different games, and I guess that is what they wanted. But I do remember specifically, especially early on in this generation, there was a lot of naysayers that were like, Sony abandoned Japan, and Sony can't stand Japan, and then they get a state of play solely for the games, and a lot of people are bad mouthing it. So it's just comes with the territory.
Yeah, no, good point. Wolf, did you see it? You said you didn't see anything outside of that, out of Token.
There were two horror games. I was seeing them circulate through the thing you got going on here on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
Besides what was it? Besides the Fatal Frame remake, there was two horror games. They look pretty freaky, and I'm all about my horror games, so I'm definitely gonna check them out.
By the way, let me give you your flowers on the air, Wolf. I don't know, like I'm only maybe about a quarter. I beat Silent Hill F on hard, and now I'm in Lost in the Fog, and you got the platinum. So when we first talked during the Halloween season, you said you were going through the Lost in the Fog. And you're like, I'll tell you, man, there was a couple times, I don't know, you were like, I'm going to be PC here. You were like, I was getting frustrated with this. That game could definitely get on your nerves on that hardest level, in the New Game Plus, that is. Yeah, man.
Even with New Game Plus and the things you unlock, it's not easy. And
no, it's not.
Of course, I didn't realize that the ending that I went for, because one of the last things I needed for the platinum, that was the hardest final boss fight. And I'm like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna have to tough this out, because I am not starting this run over again on a lower difficulty. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna finish it out, and I did. And I have the whole playthrough on my channel, and I'm just like, yeah, that final boss on that difficulty was ridiculous.
Yes. So I just wanted to say that on the air, man. Shout out to the great Babora Country. He says Nintendo increases its reach without going multi-plat PC ports. So Mary, and I believe he's talking to Mary Wilcox. He says, Mary, there are other ways to expand without watering down IPs. When I see Kratos on PC, it kills my enthusiasm for the next. So, yeah,
he's spitting.
He really is. Shout out to Babor. Also, TrueWiddy says, ironically, where wins meet is timed, and it's a day one. It's funny because that game's out right now, right? Where wins meet.
Now or tomorrow, I can't remember.
It's either today or tomorrow, and I don't know. That's another game I have not heard a lot of people talk about. I mean, I definitely saw it, tracking it, but I don't know. Maybe it just kind of got lost.
There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games in the last few weeks. Like, Brooktober, like it's a lot.
Yeah, this is true.
To break into, the news.
Yeah, well, the great Death Singer has joined us. Death Singer, I told you I'd wait for the Valve stuff, buddy. So, there it is. Marsh says where wins meet drops tomorrow, 2 p.m. Marsh, 2 p.m. where? We've got people all over the world listening to the show. Is it Australia? Is it in Europe? Is it in New York? Is it in California? Where are we? You know what I mean? He just said he dropped 2 p.m. It's almost 2 p.m. for the great Falky there, David Faulkner. It's almost that time for him over there. Shout out to David. Death Singer, let's get into it. Valve, I waited for you to get here because we talked a little bit, and if you do want to bring in your 2 cents also on the whole Horizon Steel Frontiers launching on PC Mobile.
Can we do that first before?
Yeah, go ahead. Do I, Death Singer?
Yeah, because it's absolutely hilarious. Right, for one, I like playing MMOs. Obviously, I have a history. I have World of Warcraft. I have Elder Scrolls Online. I have Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 being the best out of all three in terms of story. I still submit Final Fantasy 14 is the best Final Fantasy story in told since like before 13. It's better than 15, 16, 13. Like from start to finish, if you play through all the expansions, it's so fucking good. The writing is top tier. Anyway, so I saw Horizon MMO and I was like, hey, mobile PC. And then I was like, wait, where's PlayStation? This is a PlayStation IP. This is your game. How can it not be on your... And so I was like, this is weird. Because PlayStation, I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's because they have their own in-house Horizon like game going on. So they're like, okay, you can have this. We'll release this. But bit weird, especially with the Ratchet, not the Ratchet and Clank. What was the other one? The other MMO or online game that's mobile only?
Yeah, that's Ratchet and Clank. Yeah,
It's Ratchet and
yeah,
Clank.
Ratchet and Clank. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so this is an interesting choice. Personally, I'm gonna play it because I dislike Horizon Zero Dawn, as everyone knows. There's no mystery. We've been over this a million times.
You have been vocal on that, Death Singer. Yes.
But this is more because I don't have to play as Aloy. I could just make my own character and go about on my own story. Like this could be some good shit right here because you get to run around, fight the robots and shit. You get to do all the cool stuff. So it might be a good time. I'm willing to check it out. But it's still just hilarious how it's not on PlayStation, and I don't know how they managed to. Why they refuse to? Because you could say, well, people don't care about mobile games. Yeah, but people care about MMOs, and this could be another good source of revenue, and it's your own IP. So,
well, it's funny. Well, you missed this part, Death Singer, but shout out to SD. Says Diablo Immortal isn't on console. Diablo 4 COD Mobile isn't on console. Destiny Rising isn't on console.
Well, that's because they have their own multiplayer versions, right? COD Mobile, Fortnite Mobile. You have Fortnite on your console. You have Call of Duty on your console. You can play Warzone on your console. Thing is, with Horizon, there isn't a multiplayer option on console. There's only Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. So this is unique in that respect because
but
all the other games that have mobile versions are multiplayer games.
I tend to think I kind of lean a little bit more toward, and I know you missed it, Death Singer. I know where you're coming from, but but Guerrilla does have a multiplayer Horizon game coming to PlayStation, and it's even rumored that this game, the MMO one that's mobile, will eventually make its way to PlayStation. I'm a little bit more with Jack on this. It's not necessarily that I find it ironic because like Diablo did this as well, and I understand Diablo is a multiplayer game, but they have a mobile version that's not on console. So I'm more with Jack with that. If you're gonna advertise having MMO, let's talk about what their sales pitch is with games as a service, right? You want to have more players. So if you want to have more players, then you should have 84 million PlayStation 5s out there joining you, right? I'm with him on that. Like that's them and their business model, and they kind of retracted from a bit. Now I got a couple super chats here. This is interesting. Now, first of all, the Gaming Ledger says Nintendo has mobile games that are not on console as well. Shout out to the Gaming Ledger. But the OA, he says, in my opinion, Sony wasn't confident in this MMO. And with the reception their live service plan received, they probably want to show this is just a side project. They aren't that focused on it anymore, testing the waters for Guerrilla. What do you guys think about that? I mean, there's some validity there. I mean, they have not been batting 1,000 with their MMO or their games as a service. That hasn't necessarily knocked it out of the park. So they were probably like, all right, let's see how this goes. Because if this doesn't do well, and they don't like this, they're probably not going to like what Guerrilla's working on for the console.
Yeah,
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, Jack, you remember we went from 12 live service games to 6 to 3 to, I don't know, a half of one?
pretty much, man. I can see them testing the one. No, that's a good point. That's a valid point.
Shout out to the OA there. Batish's Prime.
When I heard about that God of War live service, I said, oh no, what are you guys doing?
That's right.
Did you see the tweet that came out about that today?
No.
No. What
said
happened?
about how much? I don't remember the amount, but they said how much money that lost. I think it was like 200
Oh,
million.
the 25 million tweet.
Oh, 25 million. Yeah. Yeah, it lost like 25
Oh,
million.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Petitious Prime
Looks like
says,
what-
WoW lore greater than Final Fantasy Online lore. Just going to put that out there. So not agreeing with Death Singer. Not,
Well,
not,
I mean, WoW, but then again, like, WoW is not in its heyday, right? Let's keep it a whole stack. Like, WoW was in a lull for a bit there because, like, once you got past, like, the Burning Crusade and a lot of the earlier expansions, like, that was when it was at its peak, pinnacle of World of Warcraft. Now, the latest expansions, to be fair, I haven't played it for a while, so they might have improved it, but like I left when it was starting to go a bit downhill. So,
okay, that's fair. Shout out to Brian East here. He says, when it comes to corporate port decisions, Pessimist shows the reason I think PlayStation game is mobile only is the same reason Diablo Immortal is mobile. It's monetized to support whale activity. So he's saying this is a money grab out there for the folks that just like to play those types of games. This wouldn't have made big money on PlayStation.
well, I mean, they still chose to release Genshin on there, even though Genshin will never be as big on PlayStation as it is mobile.
Right.
Like,
But Genshin
it's
wasn't-
all PC for that matter.
But Genshin wasn't their project.
No. But it's like mobile games do come,
Okay.
but they're not necessarily
Okay,
big on
yeah.
console.
No,
Anyway,
that's a good point. You're saying, well, wait a minute. So they agreed to that. Why wouldn't you agree to this, even if it doesn't make big bucks?
Yeah, like you agreed to put Genshin on there. I know Genshin's like super popular, but you know there's like Wuthering Waves out there now, which is like the main competition to Genshin. And let me tell you, if you want to see the funniest arguments ever between people gooning and simping over characters, right? Go look at the conversation and the arguments between the Wuthering Waves community and the Genshin community. It is the most hilarious shit ever. I don't know how it came across my timeline, but it's
Yeah, I bet you don't. That's why you been hanging out at Death Singer.
hey, no, there is
Yo,
one
Jack.
thing I refuse to
What's
do,
going
and
on,
that,
man?
no. No, it's because like I was like, oh, so what outside of console wars? What's a big war going on between these two communities? And let me tell you, the console war ain't got shit on these two communities.
Mm.
Yo, this is like prime console war era they're in right now.
Well, you always get asked these questions, Deathsinger. The audience loves this. Gaff says, he says, Deathsinger, are you going to play Horizon Steel Frontier on NCSoft's PC emulator Purple, since it's not going to be on Steam?
Yeah. Sure, I'm willing to give it a shot. I mean, I'm willing to try any game. I mean,
Yeah, but isn't there? Jack was saying, and I saw this online. Isn't there there's a workaround to even get that to play? Right? It's not, or you can play it on Purple.
I mean, you can play it. I mean, I just hit up Google real quick and I'll find how to play it. It's fine. Like I'm not sweating it. Like I could play stuff that is like Japan exclusive. Like, you know, there's like MMOs that are only in South Korea that you could play. Now there's fan translations and whatnot that you have to rely on because they don't have an English native version. But yeah, there's ways. There's ways. PC has ways. Like, it's fine. I'm not tripping.
Shout out to Blessed Red. Blessed Red, I'm sure you're going to try the MMO on PC. I'm not sure. I don't think Blessed Red will try that. Shout out to
I
Blessed
don't
Red.
think he's into MMOs. So
I don't think that's his bag. Shout out. So real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. Did you enjoy the PlayStation State of Play, Death Singer, real quick before we move on to Valve?
That was the biggest beg to the Japanese gaming community ever. Like, and the worst part was I was like, there was some cool announcements like Dragon Quest turning up. That's going to be a fun time. There was something else that Bravely Default Zero showing up was always nice because I love that series. But like a lot of those games there, I was like, that doesn't really resonate with them. And then at the end, when he was saying, "Oh, we have this, we have this, we have the Portal, we have the console, we have the monitor,
Home
we have
shopping network, bro. That's
like
PC quick.
and I have to shout out Jack's tweet, the one about the Japanese. What did you say?
Oh yeah, the Asian Sean Layden. Yeah.
Yeah, the Asian Sean Layden trying to sell
Asian
everything.
Sean Layden.
Bro, I thought it was Sean Layden at first, bro. I'm like, what the hell? He came back.
Yo.
Damn.
Like like my highlights from it was obviously Eren Yeager, the voice actor for Eren Yeager, was hosting it. So I'm like, okay, we got Eren Yeager. This is good. We can rock with this. And then, but that was like the biggest pitch. But I just think you're too little, too late, and the games aren't the audience because Nintendo Switch dominates it. And if you look at the Switch games and then you look at the games they've shown, like, I don't think how many people on Switch are actually looking out for Night Rain DLC. How many people are actually looking out for these kinds of games? Like, they're looking out for Pokemon and Mario and shit. Like, and they get all like the little games. So, I mean, it was an appeal, but I think it's an appeal that fell on deaf ears because I think the Japanese community are smart enough to know you already sell the Portal. You already sell the fucking speakers. You already sell the console.
Yeah.
I think they already know this, so I don't know why you're trying to sell it to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is that you do want to cater to a new audience. I mean, I don't blame them doing that because they have, listen, if you follow a few people online, they're showing you sales. The Japanese sales for PS5 they are going up. Right? They're doing better this generation than they did last generation. At least that's what I'm seeing. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but numbers seem to be higher over there. And when it comes down to it, when you look at what's actually happening over in Asia, they prefer to play their games on phones, right? So this is a market that they know that they're really trying to clamor to, and then hopefully get them to go from enjoying these IP on their phones to buying a console. They've even said that with PC, and I know every time it gets brought up, that Singer, you laugh at it. And don't get me wrong, I understand it may be comical to a sense to say, but this is what they're running with. The reason that they do their delayed releases on on PC is they do eventually want people to say, oh, wow, I like this game. I like this developer so much. You know what? I will go buy this console. I'll play it there first, and then I'll play, I'll buy it again when it's cheaper on PC and play it again over there. They don't want, maybe people don't want it. A lot of people in our community go, I'll wait. But a lot of people don't want to wait. They just don't. They want to play the game when it comes out. And consoles,
well, I mean, to be fair, you don't have to wait anymore now because Steam did exactly what I wanted them to do.
Well, you do have to wait. You certainly have to wait. A game like Intergalactic will not be on the Valve Steam box.
Well, 2 years.
No, it won't.
2 years
not
later,
day one. Not day one. Pardon me. Let me rephrase.
No, not day one. But it'll be there eventually.
Right.
But then again, I don't really care about Naughty Dog games, so I mean, it's irrelevant.
Well, we're talking in generalities here, Death Singer. It's not just a Mooch. What Mooch and Death Singer like.
One thing I want to talk about real quick, Mooch, with the state. Is it me, or is it every time I bring on a Gran Turismo announcement and they go one more thing, and I go, oh shit, here comes the PC release, and then it ends up being something else. But I'm just sitting here like, oh man, like, is this eventually going to happen, or? No, they keep doing that with these state of plays.
You're not wrong. It seems like it's inevitable that you think that's going to happen, but they don't. But it doesn't happen, Wolf. Right? It's like I just think it's because
it doesn't.
But that's the thing, though, and that I say this all the time. We're in the gaming community. We see a lot of people that tweet or post on X now, and they say the same thing over and over again. And Jack, people say this all the time. And BG says, a shout out to BG, he says all the time, he's like, you keep saying things are going to go day and date on to PC. You've been saying it since 2017. Eventually in 2045, you might be right. You can't be, well, I called it back in 2017. Eventually you can say the world's going to end. And then when, it's come, you'd be like, well, it's over. I called it back in the day. You do have to put kind of a window on that. So I'm with you on there, Wolf. Shout out also to the OA for joining the Mooch Maniac family members. I appreciate that, OA. He says also Horizon is the one IP they can afford to do that. I love those games and have put over 400 hours on both. But if they pulled this with God of War, Uncharted, or The Last of Us, people would go nuclear on them. So it
would be a complete crash out.
Shout out to Andre Clay, who's big anti PlayStation, does not like PlayStation. He says, actually, it will Mooch. Yeah, you had to heard the last part of what I said. We were talking about, Detzinger says, I don't have to wait. And I said, you do have to wait because it's not, Intergalactic's not going to come to the Steam machine day one. It's just not. It's not going to come day one. So if you can wait 2 years, I tip my cap to you. That goes for Death Singer as well, as we welcome the great Nib. Nib, you must be refreshed and at least 2 espressos deep by now. So
I wouldn't say refreshed. I feel like half asleep. But yeah, back in the fold.
well,
So
you're
these
you're just in time, Nib, to get into the Valve release here. I'll give you a second to kind of get your bearings. Jez, I'll go to you. Jez, you're back off of vacation and you come back to this. You picked a great time to go on vacation. Last week, I wouldn't say there was definitely news, but there wasn't news like this.
Was the GTA 6 delay?
The GTA
that I only
6
got
delay.
a little. I got a little. See, when I was on the ship, I didn't get enough of. I didn't have their internet plan, so all I got was the notification.
That's right.
And I just hear like GTA, and I'm like, "What happened?" And I had to wait till I get to land before I find out what the hell happened with GTA 6.
Yeah, this is true. So it wasn't big news, but not even really surprising. I think last time you were on the show, you said you wouldn't even be surprised if it got delayed again. Shout out to Eric, the producer, putting the Wolf's concerns to ease. Eric, the producer, says Gran Turismo PC port was canceled last year. There you go. Wolf, put your worries to ease. Eric, the producer, is taking care of that. Shout out to Eric.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. It's just I preempt the meltdown that will happen in the gaming community when it happens. So
It might be a meltdown. Shout out to Andre Clay. I know he's just kidding. He says, Mooch, I don't hate PlayStation. I just prefer Xbox. Andre, great to have you here, buddy. I appreciate it. But so, Jez, what do you think? Valve revealed its next-gen Steam machine. I say next-gen because it's it has a Steam machine that was out there prior. Here we are now. We're going round two. One thing we don't know. We know what the power is, okay, but we don't know what the cost will be. So, what did you think about the news overall? And at the end, give us your cost thought. And then, is this a product for you?
Sure. So, I thought that first off, I was surprised by the announcement. And as I think a lot of people were, there was like people were teasing that something was coming from Valve. But I have to say, I went on a thing about messaging, dude. This is how you do it. You had people hands on already with this thing. You had them using it. You had all that stuff ready to go when you announced this. You did a nice little video about, what you're announcing. And it wasn't just the GameCube. It was the VR. It was the controller. Like they basically, and how the Steam Deck integrates with that as kind of a streaming device, as a device that you could take your micro SD card out of your Steam Deck and put it into the device and play your games from that thing and use your micro SD, even though it's not the extreme one, that the faster one, it's a capability. But how that they basically announced an ecosystem. Like I really think that it was a bigger announcement than it was a huge announcement, and it's pretty awesome because I've been using. So I had Steam Deck. I went to the Windows handheld PCs and went through the ROG, the Legion Go, the MSI Core, the Ally X, and just about the last month or so, I picked up the Legion Go S Steam Edition, and holy crap, man! That Steam OS, it is the consoleification of PC. Like it definitely has its limitations with having it Linux, and some multiplayer games do not work, like the big ones. So right now, Fortnite, Battlefield, Call of Duty, because of the anti-cheats. But what the interface does and how quickly it moves around, and it's optimized for gaming, going to that on a handheld is great. And then seeing how they're going to be putting this on a VR headset, they're going to be putting this on the Steam Deck, the Steam machine. And the thing is, with the VR headset, they actually have wireless high fidelity streaming from any PC. So you can plug that dongle in and it will beam it to your headset. They'll also have some native games that you could play on the headset itself. It's modular headset. I was really excited about the VR. Thing looks really damn cool. Like it looks like it could give the MetaQuest a run for its money.
Jez, was the
and
VR
I do have a huge Steam Deck library, Steam library of VR games. Like
so, is it wireless?
Yeah. It's wireless.
Yeah, it's completely wireless, and it has its own power supply. It has its own processor and everything. It's completely autonomous. You could stream. And you could stream all VR and non-VR alike.
And all 2D games as well. Like they got 2D games.
You can play all your games, not just VR games.
Not just VR games. So you could use it like I have those AR glasses where it blows up a screen where you put on these sunglasses and it has a big OLED screen in there. They're really damn cool. I use it to like watch movies and stuff when, like on a big screen. And you could do that on the Meta, but like you have that thing. This thing you could do that as well, and it kind of does that kind of, and I don't think it does AR, but it does that whole, like, it gives you that simulation of 2D on a big screen. But that thing is really cool. But then the machine itself, like, I think that it's definitely it is definitely a statement, and the fact that they're putting the SteamOS on there and goes under the TV, and it has the ports, it has the upgradability of the micro S, the M.2 drive.
Yep.
They also could upgrade RAM if you take it apart. It has the faceplate changes. Like, it was on point the way they announced it. Like, it got me excited. Then I saw the specs and I'm like, okay, this is not that powerful little box. This definitely has
that's what I was gonna say.
It's the 8 gigabytes of VRAM is definitely something it's gonna be a more powerful Steam Deck. Just like, instead of hooking your Steam Deck to a TV, you're going to use this and you could stream from it and things like that. Like, I think it's a start. We'll see how Valve starts iterating on this, or if they get OEMs to kind of use this as a reference device. So they definitely beat Microsoft's vision to the punch with this, trying to get this, putting a reference device out there and putting this out there. And I don't know if they're going to do the OEMs. Now, if you remember, when they first did the Steam machines, they went that OEM route. Alienware, all of them started making the Linux versions of Steam, and they provided the controller. They were doing that stuff. This is their own hardware. So even with the VR, their VR was partnered with HTC Vive. It wasn't Valve. Like, Valve worked in collaboration, but HTC's hardware. This is their VR. So they are definitely bringing it, just like the Steam Deck ecosystem. They are making it where they chose the heat sink, a big heat sink. They made sure that this thing will run. It's built for gaming. So I think it's gonna definitely the 8 gigabytes. If you look at the specs, it's on the low end, but I do think that probably the way they have it and the way Linux is, the optimization, it's probably gonna punch a little bit more above its weight. It's really cool. Price wise, I think that this thing may be, I'm thinking, given the specs and where it's at, you're probably looking, I'm thinking they're going around like the 700, 600 frame. I don't think this is coming in at 1,000. I think that they went with this at kind of sitting around that 600, 700, around the type of a Steam Deck. Maybe they do push the 700-800 mark, or the 900 and 700, but I think 6-7, like the 6-7.
6-7. Yeah, but here's my thing. So Jez, great breakdown, by the way, and actually great sales pitch on the VR side of things. So I actually have a decent Steam VR library too, and the way that my room is set up right now, not really cohesive to doing VR where I have my PC. So maybe that is something to think about. But I will say this: I'm very, I don't know, the price. Okay, I think the price plays a big role in whether or not how much this is adapted, right? So you say $600 or $700, all right? This thing is weaker than a base PS5. It's 4K 60, but if you watch Digital Foundry and a few others that had their hands on it, and they actually they said the real sweet spot would be playing this thing at like 1080p. Here we go, back to 1080p again.
Yeah, but Mooch, here's the thing.
They're using FS. I think they're going to use
upres.
They are. They are.
You upscale it with FSR. See, people think 4K 60 is native 4K. No. They say 4K, so you could get 4K 60 because there's Oliver and Digital Foundry. He said he was playing Cyberpunk at 1440p 60 and then upscaled to 4K. So it is 4K 60. It's just not native.
But he did say they had stuttering even at that.
Well, yeah, but he also but that's also the TV, because he said he didn't have VRR. That's the reason for the stutter, not the game.
Yeah, but that'll make
even without VRR, that means that you're dropping frames, though, right? I mean,
but he said specifically it was because the TV didn't have VRR.
No, but if you understand how VRR works, it wouldn't make a difference unless you were dropping frames. VRR only matches the frames that it drops down to, but that means it is dropping below 60.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even if you want to 1080p it, you could still upscale it, and it'll still look good on your TV. That's why I'm not too worried about it. When they said 8 gigs, I'm like, it's a bit low. Yeah, it's a bit low, but you could still...
It is interesting because on the PS5 and Xbox with the I don't know what part of Cyberpunk he was playing, but now on the consoles, it's at 60 frames mode. It's a near lock 60. It's only certain like extreme situations where it drops. So I would be curious to see at what moments it actually dropped frames that he was able to notice. Yeah. Also, usually like 60, if you just drop marginally below 60, it's not that noticeable for them to say it's like it was a little bit choppy. It may have dropped quite a bit below 60. So I am curious to see how it plays out. Well, but I will say touching on what he was saying, like when they first announced it, I was actually super hype. I was like, this controller looks amazing, even though I didn't like the fact that, from a personal perspective, that it didn't have like haptics and all the rest of it, like adaptive triggers and things like that. I like having haptics in the Switch too. I like having it with the DualSense. It's something I've become acclimatized to now, and it's very difficult.
You could probably link your DualSense Edge though, Nib, to this box.
You could, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
the actual controller.
Steam has
amazing.
Built-in support for that.
That's right.
It does, yeah. But the actual controller looks amazing, right? Right, high quality. The touch pads, the magnetic sort of charging thing they've got, awesome. Like it just looks like a really premium device. So does the headset, the VR headset. Just it looks like a more elegant version of Apple's. But where I think even the Steam box, I was like, I've said time and time again, one of the reasons I don't game on my PC as much is just sort of like the cumbersome nature of it. And I don't really even like going to my PC desk and sitting down with my big tower on my monitor. And I know people say, just bring it to the TV, to the living room. I don't want my big ass tower anywhere near my TV.
Yeah, really. Same.
It's just not an elegant solution. So I saw this and I was like, wow, that's actually even more elegant and more refined in design than I think even the Series X. Because the Series X is a bit too like tower blocky, whereas this is like it's got that nice little bar at the bottom. It's really small, like really beautifully engineered. So I was really hyped. I was like, okay, I think this might actually be for me. Like, even though I'm a console gamer, I've wanted something that's really performant just for my Steam games that I can just slot into the entertainment unit or behind or something like that, and just have a quick little way to access my Steam games. However, then when I saw the specs, I was like, this isn't actually for me. And that's fine. Like, every device doesn't have to be for every person. Right. Obviously, this will have its, niche of people, or maybe even not niche, I don't know. But when I saw that it is kind of, obviously the CPU is more performant than the current gen console. But the GPU, from what we understand, is trailing the current gen consoles. I think it's like an RDNA 328 CU GPU, whereas PS5 is 36 CU RDNA 2 with custom bits, and then the Series X is 52 CU RDNA 2, and then PS5 Pro is like a amalgamation of RDNA 2, 3, and 4, but it's 60 CUs. So PS5 Pro should be significantly more performant. Because it's RDNA 3 as well, like I assume it doesn't have FSR 4. They didn't specify what.
No, it's FSR 3, but I think there's
FSR 3, which
before, but it's 3.
Again, is like 2026 hardware in 2026 with FSR 3 and specs that are less performant than something else, something that came out 5 years before. That to me is like not great. And then the worst thing of all is like the 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Like it's just, I would have said that's too low in 2020. So obviously I'm going to say it's too low in 2026. And more so with the new consoles coming around the corner, I think 2027, 8, etc., which are probably going to have significantly more RAM and significantly more performance, right? Like in theory, this box could actually be similar or less performance than a bloody PS6 handheld, and that should not be the case.
Right.
In the years,
No, it's two completely different things. It's like if we want to talk the latest, see, this is where does this console come in? If you want to try and get into PC, because it's a mini PC, it's not a console. Let's get that one out of the way first. And the thing is, it's like if you want to try and get into PC gaming, but you don't want to deal with the PC thing. The thing is, you're still gonna have to deal with it on this because you're playing the PC games. You have to go into the settings and adjust the settings, set the resolution. Do you want ray tracing on, not, etc. So you have to go through all this, then you have to play around with FSR. But the thing is, it's not. It's like, as they said, it's the price will be around an entry level PC. That's what this is, an entry level PC. It's nothing
I understand
special. It's not. It's not going to blow the consoles away, but it's not designed
I
to.
totally get that, Dessinger. But what, like, my question to you would be: unless you're already in like the Valve ecosystem, right? Let's just say you're a layman who wants a box that makes it, a more accessible gaming experience, right? Why would you buy a 7, 8? Maybe, I don't know how much. I actually thought it was
An entry
lower
PC is like 500, 600. Entry level.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I thought. 500, 600. I'm hearing like 700, 800.
I thought
1,000.
five or 600 as well.
Yeah. I was thinking around.
It
But-
would be cheaper than the Steam Deck, right? If it's like 500.
1,000 is like mid.
Well, at these specs, I was thinking it has to be like, it has to come in the same price range as the console.
Maybe the
right?
lower
Like,
memory one, like the 5. They have a 512, right? And
Yes, they have a 512,
512 and
yeah.
a 512. I think.
But
Yeah,
don't
because
forget,
if it comes in
Nib, don't
higher,
forget,
Big
Nib.
difference.
Is that a big? Yeah.
Yeah, but don't forget though, everything's going to be sold a la carte. It seems too. So the box is one price. I think a controller is not
Yeah.
going to come with it. So
So that's what I mean. To that point, like, already we can hear murmurs that the PS5 might actually get a drop. I know in Japan it's actually got a lower price, but the thing is, like, if you are a gamer who wants to jump in, right? Let's just say you want like an easy, accessible experience. Unless you specifically want to be in the Valve ecosystem and as a Steam box, why would you not just buy a current gen console that's cheaper, includes your controller and everything? Probably still is, well, not probably, definitely is still a more efficient and accessible experience in terms of UI and everything else and optimization, and that comes in cheaper than this. Like, so I'm not saying it doesn't have its market. Obviously, definitely does have its market, but I'm saying in a broader spectrum with masses, because remember, Steam Deck hasn't sold that much. Like, it may have sold well, for the niche that it encompasses, just like Portal, but it's not doing like Switch 2 numbers or console number, right? It's a very specific audience.
It's not meant to, but
Exactly, yeah. So
the thing.
that's what I'm speaking to, right? I don't think this Steam box is going to have that mass appeal, is what I'm saying.
Well, no, because
again,
the thing is that they're not selling it in the general stores. You have to buy it through Steam, like you do the Steam Deck and whatnot. And the thing is, it's for someone like me, right? Like, I can, because I already have an extensive Steam library. I have a Steam Deck. I am in the Steam ecosystem, and now it's complete because I can now have a box and the TV in the living room. And if I'm playing Witcher 4 on my PC, and then I'm like, I want to go into the sitting room real quick, I could just boot it up.
But would you want to take that hit on the graphics and everything else like that? Would you personally? Because I thought one of the reasons you did that is, to...
Well, I mean, to be fair, I play at 1440 anyway. So it makes no difference to me.
Yeah, you
This
could
is like
also
a
use the
1440
Steam
block.
Link, which I've used that sometimes. That works too. Like, you can use it as a Steam Link receiver and stream from your powerful PC.
But
I will say, from a personal perspective, not like, obviously Valve is not targeting me. I hope at some point they release like a more performant version of exactly this. So then it would really appeal to someone like me. Again, I know I'm not.
Yeah, and then the other thing
Steam
too
Machine
is that
Pro.
these boxes, because it's
Yeah, I
Linux,
need a Steam Machine
it
Pro.
doesn't
Is what I
use
need.
it doesn't use like a eGPU and stuff like that you could hook up to kind of upgrade it in there. Maybe they
Upgrade it,
will
yeah.
come up with
And
one.
I know
That
what
would be
some of
pretty
the
cool,
viewers.
too.
I know some. One sec, Desica. I know what some of the viewers might be saying. Oh, just get the Xbox Hybrid, right? That's like been the response. Thing is, the thing with the Xbox Hybrid, it's going to be Windows, not Steam OS. Linux based or whatever. So it's not. I still don't think even the bloody whatever they release is going to have that like refined OS experience. I feel like it will still.
Oh no, no! If it's the same thing that's on the Steam Deck, it's going to be.
It is.
refined.
It's the
Dude,
Steam
that shit's
OS.
awesome.
It's the Steam. It's
It's
exactly.
No, I
Steam
mean
OS,
the
it's
Xbox
desktop
Hybrid.
Linux. Yeah.
No, not the Steam machine. I mean the Xbox Hybrid, because the Xbox Hybrid. Yeah, because the Xbox Hybrid is going to be very performant, right?
Steam
It's
just
going to be.
leapfrogged them, man. Phil Spencer, he had to do that sad tweet because, I'm telling you, they took the wind out of that sail because Steam OS. I'm telling you, man, using it on this thing, it is definitely it's slick and it works. Like I got videos popping up every time I go from desktop to
it's just really refined, and to have it in that thing, I think is a really good start for them. And I'm interested to see, like, you're right, if they make like a version 2 of this and they start adding more power. But again, the thing is with this is that I do feel that they are maybe going for that entry, similar like with the Steam Deck. Like the Steam Deck is not the most powerful handheld, like it is far from it, but it does hold its own, and it does have the good resume, like the battery utilization and the way it runs games. It's made for games, the system, and that's the one thing that you see these things where they throw the Zen 2 chips in these handhelds that rip through battery, but they got to overcompensate for the bullshit of Windows in the background and all those processes and power management that they got to overcompensate for that by doing all this power. And Steam is just making, hey, this is for games. It almost is like a console, just like how like the Switch and PlayStation have the OS that just works with games.
So that's why I bring that up, right? Because people say, oh, if you want a more powerful console like experience with the Steam library, then wait for the Xbox hybrid, right? But then my response to that is I am not confident that the Xbox with its Windows integration and everything is going to be as streamlined as a Steam machine. And on top of that, I am very concerned that because Xbox is chasing these like high margins now, if you look at everything like from their $800 2 terabyte Galaxy Edition Series X, like, it's more expensive than a PS5 Pro. If you look at like this new $180 backbone, even though the backbone Pro already was expensive, you look at the $360 per annum, Game Pass, like across the board, they're clearly moving into like a high margin or higher margin.
Xbox is slowly remember beginning of this generation, they were the most consumer friendly. With the prices they've got now and the way that they're gearing their ship, they're completely on the other side now, right?
So how much is this new Xbox hybrid going to cost, and how much of that cost is just the margin? Because remember, the traditional consoles have been subsidized, right? I doubt we're going to get that anymore with Xbox. In fact, I'm highly confident we're not. Whereas even Valve, I remember there was an interview with Gabe Newell on Steam Deck, and they asked him about the pricing of it. And he said, obviously we don't know what the BOM manufacturing cost is of the Steam Deck, but he did say in the interview, even though the pricing is very painful from us, we're willing to take a hit in order to grow the market or something. It was something along those lines, paraphrasing. You guys can Google it. But the point is, from that, people inferred, okay, maybe they are actually taking a loss on the Steam Deck, or some reported that they were taking a loss on the entry model, and they were
they'll take a loss on this,
so they could subsidize this box as well, whereas Xbox, they're not going to subsidize this hybrid. So how expensive is it going to be? I have a feeling it's not going to be very good value.
Because it is their storefront. So so it is kind of a closed system in the sense that they're pushing it. They could subsidize it.
Because they'll make the margin on the sales, right? On the software sale.
With the Steam machine, getting back to that, because they beat Xbox to the punch, but Xbox will be like, well, ours is more powerful, but then Steam can argue, well, if you want more powerful, you could upgrade from the Steam box to a PC, which is the logical next step.
Correct, that's correct.
And if you do that, you have all the power in the fucking world. Nothing could touch you if you have the money for it. So you could do that, but I think this is more for just like the Steam Deck, which is like a nice option for me. Like, I have a powerful PC. The Steam box is completely below it, but for a nice little small, compact, beautiful design box under the TV, it's perfect, and it's not going to be for everyone. And you could say, well, you can't play the latest games, but if you could dual boot, so you could boot Windows on that Steam box, and then you have access to Game Pass. You could play your Fortnite, your Call of Duty, and whatnot. Now, this is why it's a PC, right? Because you can access the BIOS, and you could dual boot. So the thing
performance is going to suffer, though.
It is going to suffer, but I mean, if you really want to play Call of Duty and whatnot, that's what you have to do, because Linux doesn't play well with kernel level anti-cheat. But when it comes to like, they made a whole ecosystem, because like that, I don't like VR, but I'm willing to get this headset because it doesn't have to be VR games. You could play standard games. So I'm like, that could be something interesting.
By the way, you don't need to install Windows, I don't think, to play Game Pass. I think you just need the app. Like
no, there is no
you need
app.
Windows.
There is no.
You need Windows.
No, I thought you use XB Play.
that's to stream from your
Yep.
Xbox.
Oh, okay. It's just streaming.
Yeah.
All right.
So hold on a second, guys.
Oh yeah, it
So-
will be native under
You
Linux.
could probably
Yeah.
in the browser. You could maybe use cloud, but there's no Game Pass. Like that's
Oh,
the one
that's-
thing. Like
that's
Xbox
trash.
never made a
That's trash.
Steam native app
Yeah.
or support Linux. Game
So
Pass.
guys, before we get
Like
into it, before we get into the tech talk with Detsinger and Nib real quick, I do want a couple of super chats here. And also shout out to Blessed Red. Blessed Red and I are going back and forth in the chat. I just want to say this real quick because Blessed Red, I always look at podcasts like, hey, a lot of people get on, no one on the podcast is in the industry, right? I watch a show, I give my impression of a show, right? I watched what Steam put out there, with Valve put out there with their Steam machine. And the way that I saw their advertisement, they said, we have 4 new products. And they were all separate, right? And they said, let's talk about the controller. And they went through the controller. Then they're like, oh, and the controller will be used with a Steam box. Oh, wait, we didn't talk about that. The Steam box, right? Then they got into the headset. They introduced them separate. When you have a situation like that, and especially if we're talking about anywhere around $600 to $800 for the box, I personally do not believe the controller will come with it. I think the controller, the reason being is a lot of the reason that Deathsinger has gotten this into my mind is everything is compatible with your PC. So when you buy a tower, does it come with a controller? No. Right? Because when you build your PC, you can use a DualSense, an Xbox controller, whatever, right? One of the old Steam controllers. So that's where I said, I don't believe the controller will come with it. Blessed Red is like, he's 99% sure it comes with the Steam machine. He said you should at least state that or at least say it, May. I'm not going to say, I don't think so. I really think it's going to be separate, Blessed. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you there. I think that's one of the things that's going to keep the cost down, in quotes, right? Now, I'll tell you, if it does, I'll tell you right now. I'll be the first one to be like, hey, Blessed Red got that right. The controller came with the console. But I just don't see that happening. The way it was presented, then the headset comes with the console and everything else. Each of them was delivered and shown off in its own respected sales pitch.
They can have different SKUs too. They might have a SKU like, hey, this is the box. This is all you get. Here go a SKU if you need a controller. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
No,
Jack. That's where I'm at,
you
Jack.
can hook up any controller to it. Actually,
the bundle.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
You can hook up an
No,
Xbox controller.
actually, no, it's confirmed. You'll have the option to buy the controller with the Steam machine if you want it. Whilst
The bundle.
you get it.
Okay, nice.
With or without the Steam controller, so you can buy.
You know what you guys were saying
There
about
you go. There you go.
You know what you guys were saying about XP Play? So then that is actually a selling point of the Xbox Hybrid, right?
Well, you're
Like,
right.
if you're
Exactly. Xbox is
Yeah,
gonna have
yeah.
to really push either backwards compatibility with their existing Xbox library and Game Pass, because those are the
Game
two
Pass,
different
yeah.
things that leverage their product and the power probably over
Right.
something
Which
like
is
that.
a shame because I feel like for the first time ever, I might not have Game Pass from 2027 onwards because,
Yeah.
I think it's got to that price now where it just doesn't make sense for me anymore. Maybe if I can get it really cheap, I'll still go. But I think because my subscription runs out in 2027, I think at $360 or whatever the equivalent is in the UK, I can't remember. It's a no-go for me. I don't use it that much. In fact, like even this year,
in
with such a
2027, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
That's what I'm saying. Even
Yeah.
this year, which had probably the best Game Pass year ever, when I put everything I played together, in terms of dollar cost, I think the cost for me to buy it would have been $480, no, not $480, $460. But then at that point, if you're paying $360, but then you get to own the games and you could even resell them if you needed to, and not all of them I would have bought new anyway. I would have bought some of them on sale. The equilibrium just doesn't make sense anymore. I'm paying roughly the same at that point. Obviously, if you played loads and loads of games, it still makes sense.
Mhm.
But for me personally, it just doesn't. I'd rather own my games.
The Virtual Dan says it's the two SKUs. It's 5 gigabytes and 1 terabyte.
Right.
And it's
Yeah,
upgradable
the-
too.
Yes.
There is.
So-
But
Yeah,
does one of them come with a controller though?
Yeah, it does.
Ah.
Yeah, you have the option. Yes, it's
To buy it with
confirmed.
it.
You're like, when you buy-
we don't
when
know
you
what the
buy-
price is going to be. They may have a bundle one. They may have a bundle one.
So
with
wait,
the VR.
Detsinger, does one say one comes with the controller?
Yeah, you have the option. You can buy it without the controller or with the controller.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But is that going to be
but no,
with
yeah,
the
but no.
512 gigabyte or the 2
Okay, so
terabyte?
so Blessed, I was right then. So that's what I'm saying. So Blessed goes, I was watching Linus, who was there, and says it comes with it. So no, it there's an expensive bundle that comes with it, but the people that but the box itself, if you want just the box, not all of them come with the controller, right? Is that true,
No,
Dessinger?
It's you have the option, so you could just buy the console, you could buy the Steam machine on its own,
Right.
or you could buy
buy
it
with
with
the
you
console
can
bundle.
elect to not have
So there
the
you go. So
controller.
the console
Well, money.
itself, if you buy the console, just the
Standalone
console, it is a standalone
yeah,
edition.
It's an option.
Could you go up any
Yes.
controller to it?
Blessed, I'll take my flowers. So real quick,
Damn.
well, I would have gave him the Blessed if he was right. Shout out to the gaming legend real quick. He says revenues for PlayStation PC ports are anemic. I think they are pulling back on PC ports outside of gas. No Astrobot yet. GT7 port scrap. That was from before. I apologize, gaming legend. We went right into Valve. Brian East asked a question to the panel, and welcome Red Hood 420 to the show, by the way. But I want to ask Jack and Red a question real quick, and then guys, keep your notes because you guys are having a great conversation on this. Brian says the big question I have for the panel: since we know the Steam machine is happening, would it help or hurt Valve to have Steam on Xbox's hybrid console? Why should they give the next Xbox Steam? Jack, what do you think about that? And Jack, the other question I have from you is you as a console gamer, does it now being in a box that's a little bit more, it's got more specs to it, it's a lot better than the first Steam machine, it's got all of these different attributes that you can change, you can adapt to with the headset and things like that. Jack, two things. Do you think that the new Xbox will have Steam on it? Do you think Steam might not allow that? I don't think they will. But and is this an attractive looking PC for you to enter into the PC world? I know you have the PC laptop, but would you do this under the TV? Oh, Jack, you're muted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay, I kind of think Steam got to be on this new hybrid Xbox for it to have a chance, man. Especially it's rumored to be like $1,200 or however much they saying. So, I think it needs to be on there. I think it would be I ain't gonna say to be appealing at that price point, but as far as that Steam box, man, honestly, you know what's crazy? I didn't know about it not running Game Pass. That's kind of a deal breaker for me, to be honest. If I could get a box, if I could get that form factor with something that can run Game Pass and Steam,
Phil has a box for you.
That's what I'm saying. Like I might be, I'm saying though, I might be with it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man.
Well, Phil might be knocking on your door right now. You sound like a perfect customer.
Hey, I'm here for the Phil Ness, man.
There is one
There you go,
other.
man. Phil Ness, he's ready to come for you.
There's one other thing though. Steam does not on Steam OS. It does not run every single game.
No, it
that's on
doesn't.
Steam.
There's some games, yeah.
And
not just with the
some.
yeah, not just with the blocking of the.
Well, Jazz already mentioned that though. That's the multiplayer games for anti-cheat.
No, there's other games too. There's some other games that don't make them for Linux version.
Yeah, there's some
Proton
publishers
fixes
that have.
that. They force that into working.
Proton forces it. Yeah, it definitely added a lot
so
more.
like when
But
Ghost of Tsushima,
Isn't there a small performance hit though?
Proton's pretty good. I don't
No,
know.
there isn't any performance
Yeah,
hit
because what I was gonna say
Proton's
was
pretty good.
when they'll say like, "Oh, Steam Deck not supported." I remember Ghost of Tsushima. I ran it at like 40 frames when playing it. So anytime they'll say, you just boot it up and see, and whether or not it plays or not. But I wanted to say, when it comes to Valve blocking Steam, like I don't see them doing that on Xbox whatsoever. Honestly, they're gonna probably. I think personally, Valve makes more out of that than Microsoft themselves, because more people are just gonna go into the ecosystem for Valve when they see games cheaper, when they see sales on games and all that. I just don't see why Valve would do that, and because then that'll push them into Steam Deck, Steam Machine, and all that. And that's like the whole point of them creating these devices, is to push Steam OS more and more, because at the end of the day, they want Steam OS everywhere, developers to utilize that, because a lot of people have been complaining that Windows 11 is bloatware. It hinders performances. You've noticed, and Dev Singer can mention this, that there's a version of Steam OS. It's like it starts with a B, Bizet or something like that.
Bazite.
That increases performance even more. And you see this time and time again with Lenovo, that the performance on Steam OS compared to Windows is better on Steam OS compared to Windows.
Same hardware too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And one of the things
why I
like
keep
there's so much
Okay.
crap not running in the background.
yeah, and that's why I think overall, like Microsoft knows that is Valve's intention is for a lot of PC gamers to go into and utilize Steam OS when it finally like releases like as a OS update on a regular PC, because then that takes away from Windows 11 and all that. And I think by that point they'll figure out a way for Steam OS to work for anti-cheat. And then that is where I see a lot of people migrating more to Steam OS as a result and just leaving Windows. I still think there'll be people on Windows, but that's kind of like the point of it. So Microsoft, I just don't know. They're trying to give people choices. But also I think at the end of the day, when people start buying more games on Steam, they're just going to go to the Steam ecosystem as a result.
Yeah, and one of the things too is like I know I read about Epic working with Linux and that anti-cheat to get Fortnite to work on that, and then there'll be also Fall Guys and things like that. With the blocking, the thing is we don't know what this next Xbox is going to be. Is it going to? They said it's going to be the power of Windows, so I think we could figure it out that it is going to be a Windows machine, which means that that's why all those storefronts are going to be on there. And it's going to be the Xbox app overlay thing, if that's what they're kind of doing. Because I don't know if they plan on doing like a dual boot Xbox OS, like the OS that's on your console, and then you boot out of that into a PC environment. I don't know if that's the plan, because if that's the plan, then it's definitely going to be, something that they're going to have to navigate to, like where one's charging more money for Game Pass and the other one isn't. I don't know how that's going to work, but if it's just a Windows PC, which it seems like that's what it's going to be, then and the Xbox app kind of take over in the beginning, like what they're going to do and do that app full screen experience. The thing is that they can't. Steam first off, I believe that Microsoft still has to show that those storefronts exist. They can't have the Xbox app take over your PC and just show you Windows Store and not show the open market of PC. Like that's what they got caught in back in the day.
That's
in the 90s. Right?
We don't know what version of Windows is going to run on this thing. Because look at the moves that they've been doing.
Yeah.
They're now making it harder for you to make a local account now on Windows 11.
Yes.
All the previous workarounds, they don't work anymore on the current version. Who's to say they don't give you a stripped down home version of this on their console, and they lock the BIOS to the point where you can't boot up from a flash drive to install Windows Pro, for example. That gives you no restrictions.
Yeah, they could. You're right. Like with Windows 12 or even like but see, the thing is like, do you think they're going to manipulate Windows that much for gaming? I don't think so, because Satya wants all his bullshit of Copilot and all that stuff. And are they going to make that stuff work on this thing? Like, see, Microsoft doesn't seem that they're in the business of like what SteamOS wants to do is just give you a gaming system that's optimized for games. Microsoft wants to give that to you as a front end. Meanwhile, on the back end, Satya collecting all your bullshit. Like even when Sarah Bond was talking about that AI Copilot, the guy's like, "Oh, Forza, where do I go?" And it's like, "Go straight at the festival." And then Sarah Bond's like, "Yes, when you ask Copilot, it knows what you purchased, where you're located, what you're doing, like all this other shit to tell me to go straight." Because the guy's like, "Is it reading my screen?" And she's like, "Oh no, we know what your purchase habits are and this stuff, and it's learning what you're asking." And it's like, whoa, I just asked where the hell I go in the game. Like, you need to collect all that other bullshit on me, and that's what
they want all the analytics.
But also to Red Hood's point, it's like, Proton is the revolution to Linux, like the Proton compatibility layer, because like it's now 90% of all Windows titles can launch on Linux, right? And 80% of Steam's top 100 games all launch on there. Like, there is so much compatibility now. Linux has jumped so fast because of this new layer, and that's why tons of people now are switching to Linux from Windows, because most people play single player games, and if you don't play the popular multiplayer games, SteamOS, this like the speed of just the difference between running Windows and Steam. Like I have on my PC, I have dual boot, right? I have Windows, so I can play games like League of Legends, Fortnite, etc. And then I have Linux, and then I swap between the two depending on what I'm doing. Now, the speed difference is freaking insane because there's just none of this bloat. Like, you don't have all this extra shit on there. You don't have all this extra clogging up. Like, it's just so much nicer.
OneDrive, Teams.
It just boots right into the OS. That's it.
And
games are there.
And you can have so many different designs depending on which layer you want to go with. Like, there's some really cool ass designs, and Linux is just going nowhere but up, and Windows is going nowhere but down because they stopped Windows 10 support. Windows 11 is a fucking disaster. Which, when people on here, I said I'm not upgrading to Windows 11. This is the reason why I don't trust these fuckers. I'll when I'm forced in a corner to upgrade, I'll upgrade. But until I'm like pinned against a wall with Satya with a gun to my head saying you need to upgrade, like that's the only time
he's coming to you. That's thing. He's gonna.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure he's working.
He's gonna send the kill switch out.
And like the Microsoft ninjas are gonna knock on the door and put it.
Hey,
so you know what's funny? So the only thing that I
remember
find
it's not officially supported anymore. He's going to start intentionally putting malware out there to attack these systems. Like, see what happens when you didn't upgrade?
I just, it is
the stutter and stutter.
I think that Jez made some great points on the lure to have an alternative way to play your games, your Steam games in another room, right? With the add-ons of the VR and things like that. But shout out to SloMoBackSlap. SloMo had a tweet, I think it was earlier today. He says, looking at the specs, 8 gigabyte VRAM means you can't play a lot of modern games at great performance and visuals. You really can't go with less than 12 in 2025. 16 RAM is limiting too. You really need 32 nowadays. Yep. There is more that limits it, but these 2 points are enough for me to pass. For an under-the-TV device, you're looking at probably 1080p, medium setting, 60 frames, gaming on a 4K TV. But considering this is Valve, it won't be widely distributed at retailers and come at a cheap price. So shout out to SloMo. Want to give him credit for that. That was his tweet. But I mean, I will say, there's a lot to that. I think that the one thing that's baffling to me, and I say this all the time on the show, and I say to Deathsinger, like, Deathsinger, I get the convenience, but if this thing, let's use a middle number here. Let's just say $700. I actually think this thing's gonna be $500, but I'm in the minority here. Everybody's saying 600, whatever. I mean, I can't remember who said it on the show. I think it was Nib just said it a moment ago. At that price point, you've sat here. No, I shouldn't say Deathsinger, but a lot of PC guys are like, part of the whole shtick is just how weak the consoles are. And then you're like, hey, you know what? I built, like, you have a 5070. Most of the people in the community have a 5070 or better, or a 4090, which is still a phenomenal card. And then they're like, you know what? 1080p? Sign me up. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I would mention this, Mooch, is the whole point isn't it's for the power narrative.
I know.
What Valve is doing is, like I said, it's pushing SteamOS and having these also third-party like Asus, Lenovo make their own Steam machines to push those OS as well, and to get certain people that are on the fence that are like, yo, maybe I'm gonna buy a Steam machine, and then after buying a Steam machine, they make their own PC and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean,
you could get them in the store to buy.
And Red,
you know what's doing though, Mooch? It's this. I'm gonna tell you why I have my arcade kind of setup with it is because I can't bring my friggin' tower to my TV, I don't like sitting at a working desk and play games. I like to sit where I sit back on a couch and play games. And the thing is that's why I set up like a CPU kind of arcade box where I could play the PC like how I play console, like sit on the couch on my projector, like hanging out. Like I can't be bringing this around. So like something like this, if it's willing to expand where I could play, just like what the Steam Deck did, I could put this on the TV there and play it on that. Now, there definitely comes a caveat. So one of the things I wanted to bring up is with the 8 gigabytes of RAM, you're dealing with TVs. We're not dealing with high refresh rate monitors, VRR, G-Sync, FreeSync. You're dealing with TVs, and when I deal with the TV, my projector, first of all, and my other TVs, I don't have ones with VRR and all those like things. So like screen tearing and trying to make sure that the frame rate is locked with VSync and getting that consistency so you don't get the screen tearing and stuff when the frame rate drops, like it is definitely a little bit of a balance because you're dealing with fixed frame rate TVs. Now I don't so like if you get ones that have the VRR, it's definitely better with those, and those are definitely in the modern TVs, but you're not buying TVs every 2 years.
No. And I get that, but the one thing, so shout out to Hunters who's here in the chat. He says, no, you guys are fighting over console price and controller price, but not discussing that you don't have to pay online to play best deals, more games. Here's my argument with this box. If this box is not able to play like Call of Duty, right, or it's not able to play Fortnite, or it's not able to play, it can, but not great, right?
No, it can. You just need a workaround.
Yeah, the work, but now all the ease,
it's not official though. But the thing is,
I try that.
Right? Is
my point is though,
they're gonna make it like later down the line is what I
wait, hold
the phone. Mario Heat, I have something for you. I'm gonna sell a bunch of them right now. Emu Deck on this thing, you got an arcade box that you'll be playing.
That's really
that's what I'm saying. This is at 500 or 400 Emu Deck,
but
you'll be playing everything.
Did you see Jez? But Jez, did you see how we kind of jumped right there? Your sales pitch, which I agree with, is I don't want to bring my and Nib said this. I don't want to bring my tower to my TV. I want to have ease of use. I like the Steam OS. I love everything they're doing. That's great. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But then at the same time, it's like you can't do this with the thing. You can't play this. You can't do. I don't care that it's going to be 1080p. I'm not going to say Bless said this, but like Death Singer's a big fan of ray tracing, path tracing, all this other stuff. That's not here, and that's the biggest critique. And here's the other thing: PlayStation has a fall, spring, winter, summer, in between summer and fall, between fall and winter digital sale. They have all these sales just like Steam sale has now, right? And if you're not playing the multiplayer games anyways on Steam, then the whole paying online doesn't come into play anyways because you're playing single player games, right? The same thing goes for PlayStation. So like I don't understand. And you can play Fortnite, Apex, Warzone, Battlefield, Red Sec, all without PS Plus. Like I don't.
But I was going to say this, and Death Singer is probably going to agree with me. The sales, yes, PlayStation does have sales, but not to the degree.
Okay, not that's fine. Red, I'll back you up there as well, but it's close.
I'll bring up the, grabbing your keys at Green Man Gaming, and when there's like Resident Evil Requiem, right? It's coming out. That game is launching $70,
and you'll get it for 15% cheaper.
And yeah, you'll get it for $50 or $60 or $58. So at the end of the day, it's like it's what you want, and this is what comes with PC.
Hey Wolf, real quick, Wolf. There's feedback on your. I don't know if you have the show playing in the background, but it's coming through on your mic. Yeah, thanks, Wolf.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is, it's what you want. Like if you want a powerful device, then yeah, the Steam machine isn't going to be for you. If you want a 1080p device, yeah, then that's going to be it for you. Or if you want multiplayer, then that's not going to be it. It's going to be
so
a
if PlayStation came out with a 1080p console with free multiplayer, and it was $700, you guys would be all for it.
I know.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Saying like you can do like in terms of higher frame rate at 1080p, like 120.
I know. No, I get it.
Mooch, what's interesting, Mooch, is that they compared this thing. They didn't say 6 times as powerful. They didn't refer to a PC. They said 6 times powerful of a Steam Deck. So I think they're really trying to migrate those Steam Deck folks to more of a console experience, because people do probably hook up their Steam Deck, which is probably a real, tough situation. Hook them up to a TV and think they can play from it. Certain games you can, but like maybe like they said 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck. So maybe they're trying to migrate them to that and eventually upgrade. But again, I don't think Valve is in the business like, hey, we want to sell 80 million of these. And do console things. Like I think this is just sort of like, hey, you like the Steam Deck? Here's something else. That's why I want to see how much.
That's what it sounds like.
That's why this needs. But that's why this needs to be $500. I think this thing needs to be $500. I mean, I think 600 is pretty much even high.
I think it will. I think it will. But the thing is, you also have to remember. You say 1080p. See, this isn't like consoles have a flux resolution and they have a locked frame rate, right?
Mhm.
On here, you set your resolution, right? So you pick between 1080p, 1440, and then you can adjust the settings. You can add the FSR, and you can the upscaler, and you can adjust it. How do you want it? Quality? Do you want it on performance mode? Do you want it? You could go into settings. This is why it's a PC. It's not a console.
It's going to be only low settings you can choose from, right? Like medium.
No. If you put on 1080p, you could probably put high settings with a performance on FSR.
Detsinger,
you're probably still getting good frame rate.
Detsinger, let me ask you a question though, real quick.
It's not going to look good on a 4K.
Right, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Like you put
again,
this on 70-inch TVs. We're not playing around with 23 monitors, 7-inch screens like a Steam Deck where you could do all that stuff. You're going to put this up on a 75-inch TV. You're going to see that when you're upscale. You're going to see that.
Well,
stuff.
I mean, if you're at 1440p, you'll be fine.
Oh no, you'll be good at that. But there's some games that you may have to real low base.
Oh yeah, I would assume.
Well, we already have
like
a
Witcher
benchmark,
4
right? We have a
like...
benchmark of the consoles, because if this is going to be slightly less performance
Series S,
than
right?
the console,
Booster.
yeah, it'll be something in between, but that's between a Series S and a Series X, I imagine. Based on
that's what I think they said. Yeah. When they're looking at.
But see, I was watching Detsinger. Tell me if you'll agree with this. It was I don't know if it was digital. I don't want to say it was Digital Foundry. I was watching a bunch of the tech people that were invited out to the headquarters to do this. And they said how novel the thing was, like what Jez was saying with his sales pitch. He's like, you put it on the TV, and these are the qualities of it. But then once, right? But then no, and Jez, you were right. But my point being is that now when you get to what Detsinger just said, he's like, well, that's the great thing about it. It's a PC, so you can go in there and lower this and lower that, bring this to medium, go to 1080p, bring it up to 1440p, then bring this down, go up to high, go to your shadows, bring the. Now you've lost the console player that said, all I wanted was a box that plays my Steam games. I want to be introduced to Steam as a console gamer, right? There's not going to be a lot of PC people that go and buy the box and put it on their TV. This is something to get console gamers to come over to Steam. And the reason people are console gamers is they don't want to sit behind an aircraft with all these different buttons to press and bring everything. I don't mind that. I'm just saying the idea, the sales pitch behind it was the simple box that gets you introduced to Steam. Like, as you know, but now you're like, well, no, Mooch, you just figure it out. This and that, and blah, blah, blah. That's why a lot of people who are console gamers don't go to PC. They don't want to do all that. But now they do.
But Mooch, that's the thing. You're
I'm
missing
asking,
the selling
right?
point. But the selling point isn't to these console people. There is a reason why it's not available in your Walmarts and your Targets. It's only available through Steam.
That's okay.
You have to be educated in order to want to buy one. You have to look at it and go, okay, I want this. This is a mass market appeal. This is just, and bear in mind, I call it my first PC, right? This is my first PC because it's not quite a total full-on PC because it's more in the cut form factor and whatnot. But you could go into the settings and play around.
All right.
You could get introduced to using the upscaler, doing the settings because you're running the PC games. And that's why I'm calling it my first PC or entry-level PC or the beginner PC gaming, because then once you go, oh, Steam's doing this, and look at this, and I can adjust all these settings, and I could do this, and then eventually you're probably going to build yourself a PC, and then you're going to unlock the full potential.
Okay.
So I just think this is just another option or a gateway into, I don't want to invest all this money in a high-end or mid-range PC.
I think that your look at it right there with my first PC, that's actually a great name for it. My first PC.
Yeah,
I think that,
my first PC.
right?
I will say, Detsinger, you know,
it's
it's
being
so...
marketed as a console.
Can I also
by putting it on a
interject
TV?
Go ahead, Reb.
Is this right? Because Mooch, and it sounds like Nib too, is like this device totally not for you, right? I guarantee you, Asus, Lenovo, and other companies are gonna make their own Steam machine.
That's what I think.
Okay.
That
someone make a Beast
be a
one.
higher end machine, but it's probably gonna be $1,000. Their versions of it.
But hasn't Alienware been doing this for a long time?
I mean, it's been a while since Alienware has done it, but this will be the time where Valve points it out, where just like the Steam Deck, that all these companies are going to follow suit and do that as well. So then you'll have the benefit option as well.
I think the benefit of having Valve do it is because it's probably going to be more sensibly priced than if Asus
Yep.
Whoever did.
And they chose the parts and they optimized it. It has a
Exactly,
big, big heat sink in that thing. So they kind of, which I don't remember. It was 10 years ago. Like, I don't remember Valve making their own reference hardware for the first Steam machine. I thought they would just they let OEMs make it. I remember the
beautifully engineered device. I will say it's so funny, like hearing Death Singer again. There's going to be people who prefer what you're describing, right? You know, you buy like a weaker hardware box, say like a Series PS5, or above a Series S, and you're like, once they see that they can change the settings and everything, they want to move up the scale. And I'm like, when I hear that, to me personally, again, obviously everyone's different, it's subjective. That's the great thing, right? But when I hear you have to tinker with settings and change this, that's like, no, that is the opposite of why I would buy something like this. This is like, I just want to pick up and play.
The option is consoles are there for that, but I think people think this is trying to compete with the Switch. This isn't trying to compete with them. This is just another option for the ecosystem of Steam. Steam's creating their own ecosystem. Xbox has one, PlayStation has one, Nintendo has one. And this is their way of expanding, because the Steam Deck was a good start, and then they're like, well, we could do more, hence they released this headset, or like the headset will be for like the VR people who are like, well, I don't really want a Meta Quest, depending on the price, it might be cheaper than the Quest, and people might see that as an option and go, okay, cool, and you don't have to play VR games on there, you could play normal games on there, which is an added bonus, and it's all self-contained, wireless. So it's kind of like they're creating their own. It's not going to be a massive seller, but it's not designed to be a massive seller. It's more to get into the Steam ecosystem, and then eventually you'll get a PC because you'll be like, wow, look at all my Steam library. I want better performance though. Oh, let me go have a look at the PC, and you're already.
I'll tell you what would make me buy one. Not that they would do this, but if they made Half-Life 3 Steam exclusive, I'm there, mate.
That's
I think
a lot of
they've
people
been hinting that since January. With the,
I'm there. Take my money.
Well, that's a good question. Do you guys think
I also think Left 4 Dead 3. Because what they said, if they hit you with the 1-2 where they have the Left 4 Dead and the Half-Life, and they keep it, because bear in mind, Alex was exclusive. So
still is.
Wasn't it going to PlayStation or am I bugging?
No,
never did.
Still ain't on
Never
PlayStation.
did. No.
Okay.
No, they never did. The thing is, it's like, so if they do that and they drop the Half-Life 3 and then they drop the Left 4 Dead, like they could have a huge selling point.
Yo, that's a good question. I'm gonna ask: do you guys think that they're gonna have some games lined up from them when this thing launches?
Oh, I'm pretty sure if this Half-Life thing is real,
crazy.
If this Half-Life and Left 4 Dead thing is real, I guarantee you they'll be launched titles. They'll be like, hey, Steam Machine, the only place you could play Half-Life 3 and Left 4 Dead 3.
Hey, wait a minute, Death Singer, are you saying exclusives matter?
Oh no!
No, I'm not saying it.
I was gonna say he doesn't realize what he's saying.
He's console fanboy. Oh man!
I'm not saying that.
He went
Steam
Steam
Glaze. My
Glaze.
stance on exclusives is the same. I don't like them, even if Valve do them. But Valve.
You sound pretty excited though.
There was a bit of excitement.
No. I'm more.
Yeah, Half-Life 3 exclusive.
Sat up in his chair.
I'm more happy about it being. If they design it, if they design it based up for just the PC, like that's gonna be fun. But also, I don't want them to keep it exclusive. Like I wanted Alex to go to PSVR. I don't know what happened there between PlayStation and Valve. They must have had disagreements or something. I don't know what happened, but like Half-Life 3 should be everywhere. Half-Life 2 was everywhere, right?
Why do you
that's
care?
Not what you said before. You said if it's
Why do you care?
Steam box, Steam Machine.
Why do I care? What?
Man.
For a single player game.
Wait. Hold up. I will defend Death Singer. He said if it launched. He never said if it was exclusive. If it launched coinciding with
He said no. He said it was going to be exclusive as well. Steam Machine.
It was going to be exclusive.
He said it would be exclusive to a Steam machine, and I said
no. I said if
it's exclusive to that machine, it has to be on Steam.
Yeah, that's how I started the conversation. I said if they had Half-Life 3 as an exclusive, that would get me to buy a Steam on a
The
sheet.
thing is, it would be funny if they did that, because bear in mind, a lot of things are de facto exclusives because they just haven't made the trip to console yet. Think of World of Warcraft, right? World of Warcraft should have been on consoles. For some reason, who knows, World of Warcraft never made the journey, because they would have beaten Final Fantasy XIV to the punch, and they would have experienced a ton of growth on console. League of Legends should have been on console by now. I don't know why it's not on console by now. It's a 12-year-old game. Yet here we are. It's still only on PC. So
I think because the vast majority of its market is in the Asian territories where consoles are not big at all.
Well, exactly. That is a big part. Like the Chinese super server is where the vast majority, like out of the 145 million monthly active users, 80 million of that 145 was in China.
Okay.
Just for perspective. Like, so China is massive for these kinds of games. So, but I mean, you could put it on a console because they have a mobile version of League of Legends called Wild Rift. But I don't know, maybe they can port that to console. I mean, Valorant made its way over to console. So they might be able to get it over there. But it's like, it would be funny if it's exclusive. I personally think Half-Life 3 would be everywhere because Half-Life 2 was everywhere. But Half-Life 3 would be a huge selling point.
Listen, I wouldn't hate it. Look, why should a PC gamer care if a console-centric gamer can play their games? Who gives a shit? I hate that combined.
No one cares.
The only thing you should care about as a consumer is having the very best experience you possibly can.
That's what I'm saying. See, this is, and shout out, listen, Nib, so shout out to Blessed Red, shout out to Blessed. Like, me and him were going back and forth, and he was saying, he goes, it doesn't matter if Half-Life 3 goes to console. He goes, at least 1 and 2 are only playable on PC. I go, oh, now you get it. Now you get it. Exclusives matter. He goes, what? No, he goes, it doesn't matter. He goes, I'll be playing it. Wait. He goes, Half-Life 3 going to PS5 will not make me lose any sleep. I don't care. And then he goes back. The next comment from Blessed is, I'll be playing it best on PC. So we're back to best again. So it's like exclusives matter. They don't matter. And then a second ago, it was like 1080p is cool. But no, I'm playing it best on my PC, but it doesn't matter because it's 1080p on Valve. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys, what's funny is everyone feels kind of the same, and it's but then they're like, no, I don't feel the same. But
Mooch,
you do.
It's so obvious. Like, if they would have said Half-Life 3 coming to this Steam machine only on here, like, there's a lot of, like, it makes sense. People are like, oh shit, I got to play Half-Life 3 on this. Like, I don't think they're making it exclusive to a Steam machine. They got I was just talking more about, are they going to have a lineup on Steam around the time this comes out, not exclusive.
It's because they never have a lineup for, like, the Steam Deck didn't have a lineup.
Like, I didn't mean exclusive to the machine. I meant to Steam, because the thing is,
said it would be, he wanted exclusive to the machine.
Yeah, because the thing is, for me, like, this is going to be potentially a subsidized entry model, right? Like, if I want to play Half-Life 3, I could go out and spend shitloads on a high-end PC, or this would be like an affordable way to kind of experience it, if that makes sense. Like,
Dead 3 too, like, he said. Yeah,
I
want that, man.
Thing is, it's
let's go.
It's your
orange box.
It's your first PC at that point. But it's like, the thing is I think personally, like, this box is just for people who want to use Steam, but they don't want to sit at their desk. So if you want to, you don't want to use the Steam Deck, but you don't want to sit at your desk playing the Steam games. You could just put it up on this box on your TV, and you'll be perfectly fine. And given you already know how to change all the settings, you know how to go into the BIOS, because you are a PC gamer. Like, changing a few of the settings to make it run great on your TV ain't gonna phase you one bit. You're gonna be like, right, automatically open. As soon as you boot up a game, settings up, let me adjust everything, close the settings, and then carry on with the game, which is standard for any PC gamer. That's the first thing. As soon as you boot up the game, you're in the settings menu. That's the first thing you do, because you need to get everything shipshape. So, I mean,
and one thing I want to say about the Steam community and stuff, and because of this closed system, the way this is similar to the Steam Deck, there's a lot of community kind of forums. You could just say, hey, how does this run on the Steam machine? And you'll get the recipe for doing that. Now, again, console people, no. But I'm just saying, like, the way this is, since this is fixed hardware, there is definitely, like, quick settings that people say, hey, here's the recipe. You get this at this frame rate. You get this at this one, because it's a closed system in the sense of like it's pre-configured. Like people know what the settings are of it. Whereas if it's like, hey, I got a 5090 and I got a 5060 and then I got, well, what CPU you have? How much RAM do you have? Like there's more variances where I find with the Steam Deck, you could just click and say like, oh, how did I get this? Does this game run? There's even I use the Decky, and Decky has it's a kind of like a tool where it'll tell you like if the game is like a platinum or if a gold, and it'll tell you like if these games are running well on it or not running well on it. And Steam has their own as well. So like I think there is a kind of the hybrid type thing where when you have a kind of a universal set piece of hardware, you could quickly kind of get the recipe to get it to the configurations to get the settings that you want. Whereas it takes a little more hunting when you have a PC with a bunch of different, configurations in there, and then you're trying to figure out how to get it to run.
To your point, Steam mentioned, thing is, they're going to have, if it's Steam Deck verified, it'll work on the machine guaranteed. What they're going to do is it's going to be verified for the Steam machine. They're just going to have one single verification. So when they say the game is verified, it'll work across the Steam Deck and Steam machine. So everything will just be seamless, because then you're not just, do I need to, if I work on the Steam Deck version, it's automatically going to work on the console, the Steam machine. So, and it's going to automatically work on the VR. So the headset and everything, so it's all one ecosystem. So once you verify for one, it'll be verified for everything. So you don't have to put in more work.
It definitely simplifies it as tweaking and things like that. It definitely like simplifies it a little bit, but it's still there. But yeah, it's just something to bring up that now the fact that it's because I find out with mine where if it's like when I was running around, like when you have the fixed handhelds and stuff like that, you could kind of get the, how's this run? Is this even able to run before you buy it? Like you get to know that rather than if you're running around with like, the Frankenstein setup. So, something.
I do think with all this discussion, like, I feel like if you're PlayStation right now, you're sitting so pretty, because obviously this box now with the performance and stuff, say they do come out with their next hardware, half 2 or whatever, it's going to be significantly more performant than this. It's going to be significantly cheaper than the next box, and not that much of a difference in performance. We're talking 52 CUs to 60 CUs, less of a differentiating than we have now, the PS5 and Series X. And it's going to be like a potentially subsidized or low margin cost. So it's not going to be that much more expensive than what they're paying for it. They're sitting pretty, like, in a bad way. I actually feel, even though like it's good for PlayStation, I don't think it's necessarily good for consumers, because PlayStation may have like a console, essentially a console high performance monopoly of sorts. Because with this, the next box, they're going to have like a very high premium hybrid device. It's going to already, the console now is 30 million odd people, down from 50 odd million install on the Xbox One, down from 90 odd million install on. So it's capitulating every generation, and it sounds like based on what they're designing, it's going to capitulate even further, because this is going to be more of a niche, high-end, high-premium device. And then you've got Valve, obviously, and this is a lower-end sort of device. So unless they do like a Steam Machine Pro, PlayStation, again, they've got this.
Well, the thing is that they would never make a Steam Machine Pro, because if you were interested in this box, if you had deep interest, you're an enthusiast gamer, you probably already have a gaming PC anyway, or you're looking to build.
Yeah, by the way, I'm talking about the masses here. I'm not talking about like specific.
Well, the thing is, it's never going to sell to the masses, though.
I know. But I mean, it would have been nice if, like, from a consumer's perspective, if Valve could have been in that race, because I don't really like the idea.
Valve, I don't think.
I like the idea of PlayStation having this whole.
Can you imagine if they do full rent marketing next year?
Yeah.
The thing is, I just
keep in mind on the PS5 and PS6, you'll be able to play PlayStation and Xbox and PC games, multi-platform games, day date, right? No waiting around, no like waiting a year or two.
For small titles, though. Some titles.
Yeah, not for the indie titles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But for the
But the thing-
tentpole ones, that the massive.
I got a couple of super chats here, and they do kind of bring up some questions here. The Gaming Ledger says Steam Machine isn't a console. I think we've all kind of agreed to that. Arch Linux running modified KDE, no unified SDK, no native Linux supports, Linux ports. This and Xbox PC will have the usual PC drawbacks. Build a beefy PC or stick with a console. That's the Gaming Ledger. Brian E says, one thing people aren't saying, Steam Machine will likely be the most powerful emulator on the market when it launches. I believe that was something Brian and Jez were just going over, and Wolf.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
Because on that thing, you'll be able to, like, people go, oh, I wish they did backward back compat. Well, guess what? This thing will do Nintendo since the NES forwards. This console will run everything up to the Switch and below, every single generation of Nintendo, every single generation up to like the PS3 of PlayStation, and then he'll do Xbox up to there. He'll do all of Sega. Like, you could go back all the way. You could do all the emulation you want, and that's why this is kind of like the. If you're into emulation as well, this box is super perfect. Like, oh.
So let me ask this question real quick. So Jack, real quick, I did want to get your take on it, and if you said it earlier, I apologize. Jack, is this something that you would pick up? Like, is there any way on God's green earth this is something that you've heard? And Jack, you do have a gaming laptop. I know that. Like, would you pick this up for ease of use?
A possibility. It would just have to have like. Really, I need Game Pass, bro. I remember y'all was talking about that earlier that it might not have that.
But wait, so when you say but what about, so is predominantly what you play on your gaming laptop is Game Pass games?
And Steam. I mean, recently it's been mostly Game Pass, but I do dabble with the Steam. You know, I got an account on there and whatnot. But I just need both, man.
Yeah, just get a family plan. Get on the family plan.
Oh,
I know somebody would kick somebody out of the family plan.
I see y'all been finessing the family plan, man. I've been seeing that, man.
The family plan is legit.
Well, I mean, Red, do you think this is something for? I know you predominantly play on PC. Are you contemplating? I mean, like I said, I'll be honest with you. For me personally, I'm kind of with Nib here. I have a PC, gaming PC, more than capable. I have gotten a little bit more accustomed to playing certain games in the office, but I prefer playing on the couch. So like this, you know, what Jez was saying, oh, now you can bring that out there. Take a game like Mafia, right? I bought Mafia on PC instead of PS5, and I kind of regret it because that's a game that I definitely, you know, it's story-based. It's this and that. It's the pacing of the game is something I'd rather play on the couch than sit at a gaming chair in front of a monitor and play. So this is something that's interesting. Do I think I'll be a day one buyer? Probably not. Would I pick this thing up a year after it's out? Maybe it drops a little bit in price. Maybe. I don't know. The Steam Deck dropped in price a bit. I think it dropped like $100, didn't it, eventually? I think I picked mine up.
I don't know if it was a permanent drop or like there was a sale going on. It might have been.
Well, what do you think, Red? Is this something you'd put in a different room to be able to enjoy your games, or no? You're like, it's just not for me.
So for me, like, it is not for me. But I've been thinking about making another build that's a mini ITX build with like, it'll be interesting. Super compact, like with the highest end GPU, and it's gonna have a lot of heat. So in terms of cooling, it's gonna be kind of crazy. But I was thinking about doing that and putting that on my big screen TV, making like a mini ITX like 5090 or something like that. But that's going to be a huge endeavor to do.
That sounds cool though, man. I need to see that build when you're done with it.
The thing is, a lot of people do the micro mini ATX, and see, this is the thing. Like, this is for like your entry level PC gamer. This isn't for like Red Hood. Because I could build a mini ATX, which it has like a 40 or a 50 something in it, and I could just throw it into this tiny box next to the TV, and I'll be outperforming all the consoles on the market, right? But the thing is, it's like cost, being able to build it. Bear in mind, it's a lot more difficult to build a mini ATX than it is to build a standard desktop because space is a bitch. So you have to, and cooling, like you're gonna have to go real fucking creative on the cooling. But it's like you could do it. And so for real enthusiasts, they probably already have a micro ATX or whatever under to play on their TV. But for like, this is good for your entry level person who doesn't want to build their own PC. The person who bought a pre-built, right? Someone who went out and was like, I don't want to build a PC. I'll just buy this pre-built, right? Mm-hmm. So you bought a pre-built and you're probably like, well, this isn't really doing it. And for all you know, for some people, this box could be more powerful than the actual PC anyway, because they're probably still running like a 1060 or something in their PC. True. So like this could actually be an upgrade without having to build an entire PC. And instead, it might be cheaper than getting a pre-built, right? So there's a lot of caveats and options to this, and it's very much for the enthusiast. And like your regular casual Joe who walks into GameStop and just buys Madden, Call of Duty, and FIFA every year, ain't gonna know anything about this. It's gonna be out of sight, out of mind for those people. But for someone who's like, well, I want to get into PC, this might be a good entry point for you to get into PC, because it's like a very toned down, tame version of PC gaming.
So, real quick here, I got a super chat from Babor. He's not happy. He says, the child in me does not share my games. Never will. He says, so F off Sony for PC ports. We're going to see your games run like it's on a Series S, but on Steam. Babor not happy at all. TrueWiddy, he says, too much choices can be a problem for Xbox. I'm not sure, TrueWiddy, what you meant by that. Glinser says, Phil to Microsoft, we got to buy Valve. Okay, well, I guess that might be a conversation.
No one can buy Valve. Bear in mind, Valve's a private company as well. So as long as Gaben's in charge, he ain't selling his baby. So yeah, no.
Yeah, I think.
Wouldn't it go to his son if something?
Yeah, it is, because it's private. It's not the shareholders have.
I'm hoping his son.
Yeah, but the thing is with that, money speaks, man. And when he wants to retire, you know, like
no. But the thing is,
if he gets a decent offer,
I don't think he'll sell it, because the point is to go to his son. Now the son is a different story on the other
yes,
hand, right?
But Gabe has already spoke about this, and he's carefully selecting. And it's probably going to be his son who's going to take over.
I'm just saying, that singer, I know, I don't know how much you guys follow this over in the UK, but I will just let you know real quick, and over in Wales, I should say specifically, but Hal Steinbrenner is not George Steinbrenner, just in case, and you might want to look, that's a baseball reference. A lot of people are like, don't worry, it'll stay in the Steinbrenner family. The Yankees are not, I mean, listen, they've won rings, the Mets haven't, but I will say this. It's completely different when.
Listen, that stuff doesn't mean diddly squat. I literally have friends who have made platform things, and then because they keep getting higher and higher and higher, they eventually sell. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
That's what I'm. No, I agree. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody came in and offered Hal Steinbrenner, I'm making this number up, $7 billion. The Yankees are worth like $2 or $3 billion. I don't know what. If it was $3 or $4 billion over their value, I'm pretty sure the Sun would sell. Yeah. So I'm with you on that.
I don't think he'll go to any.
I hope it doesn't, because you can tell the love that the PC community has for Gabe and what he's created and what he holds in high value. Listen, I'm not saying the Sun wouldn't keep it up. Sure, maybe he would, but
I would say he would keep it up, because Valve isn't declining. Like, Steam is just increasing year on year the amount of users. It's never decreasing. It's always increasing the amount of people coming into Steam. So I just think it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And because everyone on PC absolutely adores Steam, and Steam is fundamentally just the best store, and you know, all the other stores just fuck up because, you know, they don't know how to act for whatever reason. Like, shout out to Epic and your dumbass ideas. But, you know, it's like, I think after Gabe's gone, I think it'll still be around. The thing is, because it's private, obviously he might have something in place. But also, it's like, I don't see Microsoft or Sony or anyone buying it. If someone was to buy it, it'd probably be like some private investment firm or something. But then, if they fuck it up, Steam will just collapse, because you'll just lose the PC community. They'll be like, oh, look at the way this shit has gone. So you're kind of incentivized to keep the status quo because otherwise you'll just lose the PC community. So
here's
Hey.
so look.
I know Halloween
Go ahead,
just
Jack.
passed, bro, but could you imagine a world where PC players and Xbox fans merge and start doing the fanboy shit? Oh my god!
Oh, that's already happened.
no.
That happened in 2017.
Yeah, they tried it.
No, I mean, if you look at the biggest-
and all that, they tried it, but it.
If you look at some of the biggest like fanboys of the Xbox platform right now, they are PC gamers. Like look at your Oh No X Alex, your Fratangas and stuff.
Yeah,
They're all
they
PC gamers.
used to be diehard Xbox dudes, but
Yeah,
I think
like
bro,
as soon as Xbox did Day Date,
bro. I mean, Valve.
Yeah.
That'd be. Oh my god.
That would
I
be
I feel
wild.
like as soon as Xbox did Day Date PC and Game Pass and everything else, that was it. A lot of the PC gamers, they were like, "Yep,
Well, see,
we're Xbox now. We're Team Green."
No. But then you have to divide the proper PC gamers and then the PC gamers who are former Xbox, like
The
in
refugees, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Housing different.
Because like
from
a
the
lot
refugees.
of the hardcore PC gamers who aren't the refugees, they know all the ins and outs of PC, and they're like, have fun with your console war over there. I don't care. I'm gaming at 4K, 240 FPS with ray tracing. I don't care about what you got going on over there. Who gives a shit? And that's a lot of people, right? That's the majority on PC. They don't care about console. But then you have the refugees who go, well, now I'm on here. Now I can argue back. Microsoft incentivized you to go to PC, which is great.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Like I even saw today, like a GameSpot, it's like Series X, talking the standard 1 terabyte version, on sale for like $630, and I was scratching my head. That seems a bit high, and then I forgot with all these price increases that is considered a sale.
That's their sale price now. Yeah,
it's insane, dude.
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
It is insane, and so this pleasant surprise from Steam. I'm happy. I'm gonna get one because I just want something under the box. Because Red Hood will build a mini ATX. I personally don't want to. Because it sounds like a whole lot of trouble, and I'm like, I'm not going through with all that. I've seen mini ATX builds, and that is, I'm good. so more power to you on that.
The Gaming Ledger comes back. He says, "What's the use case for my first PC for a console gamer?" He's using your term there, Deathsinger. My first PC. Everyone I know wants power if they are ditching the console. So,
well, if that's what you want, then you build a PC. The option's there for you. See, Valve doesn't care either way because you're going to Steam.
Right? No, that's true. That's true. Valve doesn't care. They want you to buy their games, right? So on their storefront.
Valve is it's storefront, Steam, right? So if you get a Steam Deck, they got you in their ecosystem. If you get this box, they got you in their ecosystem. If you get a PC, they got you in their ecosystem. So either way, they get you into Steam and buying it, and it is the correct choice to go into Steam and buy because you don't want to go to Epic because Epic is basically just Fortnite and trash. And then you have like GOG. Now GOG is great, but GOG is DRM free gaming, so they don't
That's why we don't got that many games.
Yeah, but you don't get the latest games, but that's because a lot of publishers are not willing to go DRM free, right? A lot of them want this DRM on the games, so that's an unfortunate thing. GOG is great, and it fully syncs with Steam. And then you have all the little launchers that people really don't give a shit about. So then it's like, okay, well, Steam is pretty much your only option. So you're like, okay, let me just go through Steam, and there we go. So I just think this is just an easy way to get you into the ecosystem. And when you're in there, you're going to realize how fucking good you got it because cloud saves aren't locked behind a paywall. Like, you get all the services, you get all the features, you get literally everything. Like, it is just so clean and simple once you're in the Steam ecosystem. And you get to go to places like Green Man, Loaded, Fanatical, Humble, and you could go get some fantastic deals on games. Like, I always come back to when I did a comparison, right? I got Elden Ring and Dying Light 2 for 90. Now, if I was playing on console, I'd have to pay 120. 120 versus 90. Day one releases. Like,
that's not true, dude. On console, you buy the gift cards at a discount. So For example, Shop 2,
No, I'm on a-
etc.
Yeah, but that's like some people.
It's just a work.
People.
So instead of buying from CD Keys the game directly, you just buy the top-up voucher with a 20% discount, and then you buy the game from the store.
But that's not like the regular person, right? That's a workaround that some people do.
So is CD Keys though. Like the regular person.
CD
would just
Key.
buy
A lot
from
of people
Steam.
buy from Steam directly.
Then again, if you're the regular,
right?
Like
wait. I would say I would argue a little bit against that because a lot of PC gamers that do buy games off Greenman Gaming. So I gotta push back.
Yeah, they do. Like they
Guys,
incredibly
little kids who
popular.
are just getting into the stuff, they don't even know about that crap.
Well, no.
Again, I'm just saying if you're savvy enough to use, those sites, what's buying a top-up voucher for a discount and then buying the game instead? It's you know what I mean. Like if you're
I
one
get
of
that
those,
point, but I don't think it's about the same like demographic amount of people that do so. Like the same percentage amount of PC players that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you are a console gamer, you don't have to pay full price for your game.
Oh yeah.
I won't disagree.
You don't have to pay full price, but most people will just because you're conditioned on console just to go into the store and buy it. Whereas a PC player, if you've been in Steam for a reasonable amount of time, like if you're not new to the Steam ecosystem, you generally are not buying on Steam unless it's a sale. Most of the time, you're getting your shit off these key sites, right? That's just something you have the advantage of. Whereas going to get these a lot of people just go onto their PlayStation, pre-order the game through the PlayStation store, and be done with it, right? That's like the typical thing.
See, the Red Hood was right to push back, but I'll push back on that. How many people kept on looking online forever on Xbox for the $1 deal for Game Pass, right? You had to look high and low for those things, right? You had to look at a toaster strudel bag, a Dorito bag. Like people were going right. So I mean, people were going everywhere looking for those. People look for deals, Death Singer. So what Nib said is not quite as scarce as you think it is.
In the UK CD Keys, the top PSN top-up vouchers are the biggest selling item. So clearly a lot of people do it. Like they are actually the biggest selling item on the website. So again, I'm not saying that you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm just saying there clearly is a lot of savvy gamers who do exactly what I do. And why wouldn't you? Like if you are aware of it, why not just save yourself an extra 10-20%?
$10-20. Yeah. Well, same thing. I mean, even if you buy
for the
go ahead, Wolf.
PC guys. I've been at the PC gaming stuff for a couple years now. I personally don't play on them. I build them for people. I don't play on them all the time. If I were to pre-order Resident Evil Requiem through Green Man Gaming or something like that, am I getting that key before midnight in most cases, or is
yes.
Yes,
for
for
Capcom, yes. The only ones that
so it goes by publisher.
Yes, it's weird like that because like usually you'll get that key about 2 to 3 days before. So then you can preload it. But then I'll even argue preloading is not that great on PC compared to console. I'll give console that. Preloading is not the best because what Steam does is like unpacking and stuff like that. And it goes live.
Oh, that's still a thing on Steam? Where it has to unpack games before release?
Yeah. That's why I tell people I tell people just download the game immediately.
On release.
Fast enough on release when it launches.
That pissed me off when Resident Evil 2 Remake came out. I was like, wait, what is it doing? Why can't I just play it at midnight? And
it's like I think of the last couple of games I purchased. Like I had Elden Ring pre-ordered, the DLC. Had Metaphor obviously pre-ordered, and then I had other stuff like FC24, Shin Megami Tensei 5 when it came out. Had that on pre-order.
Wait, you're an FC player, are you? You play for FIFA? Well,
yeah. I don't play online though because I refuse to spend money on the game. You can fuck right off. Like FIFA Ultimate
Yo, that singer is crazy.
Nah. FIFA Ultimate Team is the ultimate money thing. Like that thing is insane.
But you do buy the game though.
No,
you know what you're doing.
I pay the monthly thing for EA.
Oh yeah, okay.
I play it for the first month. Look at the game. Play it for the 1 month that I'm subbed, and then realize, well, it's the same shit every year, and then just wait for a sale on Steam the next year. Because it's going to go on sale next year, like easily.
Yeah.
Summer sale is going to be like 50% off or whatever, and I'll just pick it up then, like I did with FC24.
So real quick, guys, there's two other topics I want to get to. We'll talk on them quickly, but I will say Grizzly Bear Gaming comes in. He says, "Hey, Mooch," and he may have been starting the show a little bit later. He says there are too many. He's a little bit of tongue in cheek, I think. Here, he says there are too many Horizon games, but I need that mobile game on PS5. Also, Mooch, Sony should stop live service, but that Horizon game should be on PS5. Grizzly Bear Gaming.
So the issue with that, right, is, and Destinger can actually attest to this more, that developer that makes it, isn't it the same people that do, I could be wrong, Genshin Impact, right? Or am I bugging about that?
I think it's different people.
Okay, different, because I remember that someone mentioned that there's an emulator that works for PC. It's not even a direct PC port for that game or something like that.
Yeah, you have to run it through an emulator.
Yeah, Purple,
on their
kind
store
of, so,
or something like that.
Yeah, so Purple used to be an emulator. So it would basically emulate mobile games to PC. But these days, NSoft's Purple is actually a PC platform as well, because you can actually get PC games on there now. I don't know what this game will be, whether it will be an emulated mobile game or whether it is a native PC game. They haven't expanded on that, but we just have to wait and see.
No.
Shout out to Babor. He says majority of PC gamers play below PS4 level Singer. And then, of course, Blessed Red said, I just for full contact here, Blessed Red said, Babor, that is misinformation. So I just want to make sure that that's clear.
I did want to respond to Eric, though. I already responded to his tweet about this. It's not the same when a game has already been allocated development and budget. It's not the same, because people can say, look, I don't want PlayStation to do live service. What they're saying is, I would rather that studio make something that I want to play instead, like a single player game or something or whatever, right? Once the game is already in production and it's already been greenlit and all is nearly finished or whatever, that's a different thing, because at that point, the game has already been made, so why would you want to be left out, right? If it's already been made, it looks good. And I actually think this Horizon game looks awesome, by the way. Like,
it does look good.
I thought it's totally different from what I expected. I was expecting some janky-ass mobile game with low-end graphics, and I look at it and I'm like, holy shit, this looks better.
To me, it looks like a Monster Hunter type of game.
Yeah, basically, but with machines. Right.
Thing is, it looked like Horizon Monster Hunter, which sold me on it, and the fact you could create a character, so I don't have to play with fucking Aloy.
That's why. So that again. So with that, in that instance, and it's already Horizon sells massively well on PlayStation, right? Horizon, I think the first game is on 24 million. The second game, like within a year and a bit, it was like 9 million, right? So the point is, people love this game, love this franchise. So of course, PlayStation fans are going to see this and see an awesome looking trailer with cool, like thousands of people take machines together. Because this is the kind of shit I wanted from a Horizon multiplayer anyway. So yeah, definitely I would to play it on PlayStation as well, especially
unless they can't, because if it's emulated, the emulator.
Yeah, then there's different. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if they have, if that thing purple. If that is, if this game is emulated, you can't do that on PlayStation. They won't let an emulator on there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I mean, I will say, like, from a
on there.
I agree. I will say from a business perspective, like, this is actually what, because again, like, I read the tweets and I'm like, oh my god, PlayStation is leaving PlayStation behind. But it's like they're doing everything they have said they're gonna do since 2019. Like every single thing they've done, from the live service date, from the staggered PC releases, from the mobile games, like from the tie-in with the series and TV shows and movies. Literally every single one of them they've been following to a T. They actually have an entire mobile segment as of, I believe, 2023. They even bought mobile studios. Obviously, NSoft doesn't belong to them. It's outsourced. But they are working on other mobile games in the background. They just have taken time to develop. So it's like, this is not new, the push with mobile. I was a bit surprised that it didn't have a PlayStation release, but I was only surprised because I heard it was coming to PC. But then when I heard it was Purple exclusive, then I was like, okay, so it's not like a Steam release. So like Desinger said, there could be a lot more content to it. Maybe it is just emulated. We don't.
Right, and there is also talk of
that's
it.
why it can't be on PlayStation. So it's de facto PC exclusive at that point.
I think it's gonna do probably pretty well in like Japan
Mm-hmm.
and China. I would assume it's getting a release.
They
Because
said
of
they said it was going to be released in Korea. Did you guys hear
Korea?
China and Japan as well?
Oh, it'll be over there. It'll probably be big in South Korea, but it'll go to Japan.
Okay.
This is the only such game like this. Like, not PlayStation, but Sony's highest earning, one of their highest earning IP ever, more than any single player game or whatever, from Sony Music, is a friggin' PC and mobile game. It's Fate and Grand Order. You know, at a time, Fate and Grand Order was the biggest earning mobile game in the world. And I think even now it's like the 8th highest earning of all time or something like that.
Isn't Nintendo also making like crazy money on the mobile market as well?
They
Not
are,
even
yeah.
just the Switch,
No.
just mobile.
So they did do a push in the mobile market, but actually it was the opposite. They are scaling back on it because they didn't make much money on it. So I think if I remember correctly, I know it still sounds like a lot. If I remember correctly, it's 2.5 billion revenue over 5 years, something like that. Which
Okay,
it sounds like a lot of money, but
they
for them,
made like 2.2 billion primarily from Fire Emblem 3 Houses. That was October.
what, just on mobile?
Yeah, so far.
Yeah. So from what I understand, they are only keeping 2 or 3 IPs on mobile, and the rest of it they're scaling back on. So maybe, you know, whatever, the Fire Emblem is one of the IP that did really well. Maybe that's like a real thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Talking
Fire
like
Emblem Shadows, from what I'm looking at right now.
Also, Fate Grand Order is a fantastic game. I play it, or did play it.
I don't even know what it is. I just know it's really
Hold on, Detsinger.
The reason I play it is because I love the Fate anime. Obviously, if anyone knows anything about, I love the Fate games. Like, I bought Fate Samurai Remnant, and that's a fantastic game because I just love Fate, because Fate is a fantastic series, and it's a great anime. It's a great manga, and it's a great game. I just like to collect all my favorite characters, you know, from across all the series. So,
where did you get that? Where did you get that Fire Emblem data? Because I'm on Game Business, and they said that as of October, Nintendo has generated 2.2 billion,
business, nearly 2.2 billion, and they
yeah, but that's from mobile games in total.
Total. No, I'm not saying it came from just that specific.
Yeah, so that's why I said 2.5 billion. I was off by 300 million, but yeah.
No, I said 2.2 billion.
So let me just switch over.
I heard, but I'm saying that's 2.2 billion from all their mobile IP total since they've been in mobile
for their 9
which is not that much, right? Like, in the grand scheme of things.
Let me switch over real quick. We have a couple more super chats, and I do want to ask. I'm going to ask Nib, and I want to hear Jack their opinion on something, because this was big in the news this week. So shout out real quick to Andy Hart. This surprised me. He says Steam Machine day one buy for me. Love the Steam OS. If price base model 5, he wrote base model 5. I think he means PS5 to $600 game changer. Oh, I apologize. No, I read that wrong. This is the smallest print. Love the Steam OS. If price of the base model $500 to $600 game changer. I think it needs to be in that $500-$600 as well, Andy. I don't know who would even want to. I'm actually thinking in a year or two I would maybe pick it up for the things that Jez was talking about earlier in the show. I could see some of the conveniences of having that underneath the TV for the VR stuff, right? So I do get that, but it would have to be down in price. Fork Boy Gaming, great to see Fork again. Fork, we miss you on YouTube, buddy. Wish you'd come back. Shout out to Fork. He says, just want to give a shout out to Mooch. Appreciate you being here, Fork. Thank you. Babor says, this is, I think, in relation to what you were saying, Death Singer, about EA. He says, season is free. EA 26 is an actual improvement.
I mean, improvement loosely. Like, I mean, let's not pretend like there's still a whole bunch of issues with the series. Let's dial it back a bit. Every year they claim it's something new. Like from 24 to 25, they said it was going to be fucking brand new, and it was the same old shit in career mode. So they'll add these little feature things to it, but it is a step up in the right direction. But they still got a long way to go before
So shout out to Babor and Death Singer could probably do their own podcast. I love it. So I'll start with you, Nib, and I really do want to get Jack's opinion on it. So Ghost of Yotei sales exceed 3.3 million copies in a month, right? Roughly, I believe it was a month.
Days, yeah.
So I mean, and listen, my question is this: we saw that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was out there, and they're like, we sold 4 million, and that's a great game. So
8 months.
They're in 8 months, right? And then Expedition 33, which a lot of people, I understand there's an asterisk here. A lot of people can give different caveats, but 5 million, and that was since what, April timeframe? And listen, by the way, all these numbers are fantastic. I guess my question, Nib, is why is 3.3 million not a success in the community's eyes, but everybody else is standing up, applauding, and lighting a match for 4 million on multiple platforms? I mean,
and I will say, I know what people will respond. Oh, these games aren't as big, but I mean, people do the same thing with Resident Evil. People do the same thing with what's it called, Dragon's Dogma. People do the same thing with Street Fighter. Like, it's always like the multi-platform games that do the same or similar as the exclusives, or in cases less, always get championed while the exclusives don't. And I honestly do think it's a combination of fanboyism from people on differentiating platforms, and also, you know, at the moment there's this whole kind of culture war going on in gaming, and you know, it's that like bitch eating cookies thing. Like, it doesn't matter what information comes out, they will try and paint it negative, right? PlayStation themselves came out and said this is a major hit, right? PlayStation themselves came out and said it. Obviously the sales is tracking great. We had GSD and Sakana, both of them said that it's selling in line with Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
One of them said in line with, one of them said roughly the same as Ghost of Tsushima. Keep in mind, Ghost of Tsushima launched to a higher install base by about, I think, 20-30 million or whatever.
And Ghost has the same budget as...
Same budget, exactly, same budget. It released during COVID. Other studios have mentioned how with the post-COVID releases, they didn't anticipate they would sell the same volume because COVID was an extremity. So even that is in favor of Ghost of Tsushima as well. It literally released during pandemic season, right? So the fact that it's selling as well, potentially even faster, because obviously we've got holiday season around the corner. It's probably going to get a big bump. Ghost of Tsushima did 2-point-something million in the last few days, and then it went on to do 5 million in 4 months.
4 months, yes.
So I don't know where Ghost of Yotei falls in between that. Is it going to sell as quick? Is it going to sell quicker? But maybe possibly it could have better legs actually going forward, especially obviously with.
Well, Ghost of, and you may have said this already, but Ghost of Tsushima, when it launched, had a bigger install base on PS4.
It did, but by quite a large amount. And then, like was mentioned, I don't remember. Like, sorry, I can't see who's speaking. but yeah, like it's same budget. I think the director said it was roughly the same in manpower and cost as Ghost of Tsushima. So if you put that into perspective, obviously this is a higher priced game as well, $70 instead of $60. With all those confluences, you're talking about something that has made, you know, say they spent 50 million on marketing. Say they spent 100 million on marketing, even though that would be much higher than.
That seems high, but I know your point.
They've still made profit within the first month. They're actually made a lot of profit within the first month. And this is not going to stop selling. This is going to continue selling. You know, say it goes on to sell a similar number as Tsushima, you know, 10, 13, maybe more million. That's just pure profit. In no way, in no sensible realm, could someone say that is a flop or a failure or whatever. I just think it's absurdity. And like you said, why does it feel like, I wouldn't even say just PlayStation games held to a different standard. It's kind of like an exclusive like thing, and with fanboys. And obviously I see Nintendo brought up. Nintendo platforms, people are primarily buying them for the exclusives, right? They don't have as many sales of third-party multi-platforms. They don't even have as much of a draw to the tentpole one, you know, like the Call of Duties, like that, or the GTA 5s and so on. So it's a very different thing. Obviously, Donkey Kong Bonanza, there's not that many exclusive on the Switch 2, full stop. So if you've bought a Switch 2, you have Mario Kart, you're probably going to pick up Donkey Kong Bonanza. So of course, it sold 3.2 million. It's not the same as a Ghost of Yotei on PS5, which has over 4,000 games and tons of tentpole multi-platform games vying for people's attention, right?
Right.
But that doesn't mean that exclusives don't sell. I mean, look at Sakana just dropped the top 10 best-selling PS5 games of all time list, and Spider-Man 2 is number 2, behind only one of the Call of Duties. Keep in mind, there's been more Call of Duties on the PS5. So Spider-Man 2 is number 2, God of War Ragnarok is number 7, and Miles Morales is number 8. So 3 of the top 10 are occupied by exclusives, when the first-party exclusives on the PlayStation platform make up less than 1.84% of the total library.
That is dollar sales, though, not total units.
It is dollar sales, yeah. Which, again, is in favor of the multiplayer live service games, because you are more likely, based on statistical data, to buy premium versions of those games, because having a lead in a multiplayer game or a competitive edge or more skins or a double XP and stuff like that is usually more of an incentive than just having the OST or some little extra skin like that.
Yeah, so shout out to Blessed Red. He says, your final word, if something is successful, it's always based on the company. Nothing else actually matters, just Twitter talk. Cyberpunk sold 14 million and CD Projekt Red said it wasn't successful, so it wasn't. I mean, yeah, ultimately it does come down to what the publisher, platformer says, depending on the game, and that's true. But there are a lot of times that, like, they've said things have been, like, successful, and then they weren't, the kind of stuff. Wasn't there a little bit of, like, crosstalk with, like, Square Enix when it came to, like, Final Fantasy 16? Right? They were like, we're pleased.
Well, they say a lot of the times,
right,
that any of their, like, HD games don't perform to what they want. Like Tomb Raider, if I remember correctly, the reboot sold like pretty well the first game.
Yes, it did.
Of that as a failure. So
yeah, because of the production budget. I will say, to that, I don't want to get into the weeds of it. I have responded to this journalist personally many times. But Takashi Mochizuki, I believe his name is. He writes for Bloomberg.
Yes.
Unfortunately, a lot of the misinformation around Final Fantasy 16 is because of misreporting from him, and he does have a history of misreporting. And I do mean things that are factually, provably evidenced wrong time and time again. And I don't know why he does that. It is something I've literally called him out on and responded to him multiple times.
Yes.
And he's never even responded to clarify. It's a really funny thing, because I'll ratio him with a tweet that has like 1,000 and he won't even respond.
No.
Which to me is telling. That tells me that that there's misinformation here, but you're just not going to clarify it.
Yeah, he released the information before anything officially came out on like the PSVR 2. And then
which was wrong. Based on the data, but with this whole Square Enix thing, so he there was I forgot his name, analyst actually followed on Twitter, funnily enough. So he quoted this analyst who was at one of the Square Enix conferences, and he wrote, it fell below our highest expectations or something like that. First he said it fell below our expectations, then he changed it to it fell below our expectations on the high end. Both of those were actually false, because I actually have the transcript from the meeting and I posted it on my Twitter. They literally have the minutes written down of everything that was said in the meeting, and they actually said it was in line with their expectations and did well. And so that goes on from another interview they did 2 weeks prior or a month prior, where they said the sales were very strong, or no, the exact words were extremely strong. And they said because the install was so low, they didn't anticipate it having that attach ratio. So then you have this muddied water where misreport Square Enix said every friggin' media, literally every Eurogamer, IGN, they all quoted this Bloomberg article, which was false. Like it literally, again, I've put the minutes on my Twitter. You can see what was said in the meeting for yourself. it was something that wasn't even said. The analyst who he quoted, who said it, also clarified, sorry, I misheard. Like, that wasn't what they were saying. And then about 8 or 9 minutes later, in the following quarterly of Square Enix's report, they actually put out another conference minutes, which kind of reconfirmed that actually the game is selling well, and that the HD segment as a whole falling below profit expectations doesn't mean Final Fantasy 16 itself fell below expectations. It's two different things. HD segment includes multiple different games, all the remasters and everything else, and including Foam Stars and so on, which obviously flopped tremendously, versus Final Fantasy 16. And 8 months in that conference, they said, and I quote, Final Fantasy 16 and the following downloadable content, sales of Final Fantasy 16 and the following downloadable content continue to trend well. And that was 8 months after release. So actually, this notion that it fell below expectations or didn't sell well, it's not grounded in reality based on what Square Enix themselves have said.
Right. But also, Square Enix is just a funny company anyway, because they were doing this whole exclusive thing, and then they pivot away like, nah, everything is multi-plat now, bitches. Fuck all of you. Because they obviously realize
it needs to sell like 2 billion for them to be happy anyway.
I think that's where the profit is selling everywhere, because as much as it was nice being exclusive to PlayStation, clearly it didn't suit their needs, hence they have now changed their stance on where they're going.
Only thing I would push back on that is I don't think that is the full narrative here.
It's not. That's the Twitter narrative you just said that, Singer.
It's a Twitter narrative, because the only reason Square Enix did exclusivity to begin with, let's be honest, like no third-party publisher would choose to have a tentpole game be exclusive unless they're getting paid. Obviously, the more they can sell it, the more places they can sell it, the better, right? They only did exclusivity because PlayStation money had to do it. So them not doing exclusivity anymore doesn't necessarily mean that exclusivity that the arrangement that they had didn't pay off.
Right.
It could very well just be PlayStation doesn't feel the need to money hat 50 to 100 anymore, because like Xbox isn't really a threat anymore. So what are they really doing it for? Why are they paying these third party exclusivity deals?
Square took money also from Epic, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
because if I was Square Enix and Sony's not paying me anymore, and they're not marketing anymore, why would I do it? I wouldn't do it. I would just make it multi-platform.
Right.
Because once you're making it for the PC version, obviously the Xbox is, uses the same API, etc., and has a very similar, when you use the GDK on Xbox, it kind of already covers PC as well. So you might as well, you might at that point, you might as well make it for Xbox as well.
Yeah. Well, so let me, Jack, real quick, because I think that, and I do want to hear what Wolf has to say too. Jack, what did you think, real quick, on the Yotei sales? Were you surprised by 3.3? Did that meet I'm talking about your expectations right now, not PlayStation's? Because people, don't get me wrong, I don't blame Bless Red for saying what he said, Jack, but like, is 3.3 in a month? I mean, where does that sit with you?
Man, I'm so used to Sony not even announcing sales numbers anymore that I don't even know what to expect. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it, to the way I'm viewing it, if they actually announce the sales numbers, they're pleased with them. That's how I view it. Because usually, they do the word soup. Astrobot sold more than the 5th ranked most platformer or not a Nintendo. Like, what the fuck? What are y'all talking about? Like, did it sell well or not, man? What are y'all saying?
Yeah, just say it.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't do that with the game, so I guess they cool with it. And exclusive games are looked at differently when it comes to sales. People just hold them to a higher standard. I guess they like, if you gonna have it on only one platform, it better sell well, right? And, it's kind of like
that's crazy, Jack. Though, because like a multi-platform game that'll sell, like, was it Mafia Old Country? So not even that close to that amount, right?
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Yo, that's great."
So it's really that mean flirting versus harassment, right? Like, you could take Horizon for example. When Horizon was exclusive, it sold each game sold like 15 million a piece, right?
Yeah.
That's not impressive. You know, Sony they not getting enough to squeeze out the lemon. They gotta diversify their gaming. Then they put it on PC and it sell like 300,000 copies. Oh my god! Return on investment. Like, bro, this shit just sold 15 million and you wasn't impressed. Now it sell 600,000. Man, is the bee's knees. Like, get out of
But the
here.
attachment rate.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Wolf.
Which, funny enough, is much higher on PC. As in, the install is significantly higher on PC. So this is the funny thing with it, is like the same people. It's always the same. Look at their accounts. When someone made that comment, look through their friggin' profile and see which platform they prefer, right? They will champion games or whatever, or player numbers on a system that sells games or releases games to hundreds of millions of players and sells fewer numbers than that PlayStation exclusive, or has player numbers when Game Pass is available to over 2 billion people. Keep in mind, it's on Fire Stick, it's on TV. Obviously, there's not that many subscribers, of course, but the point is the install is a similar thing. Like, why isn't this game that launches to PC and Xbox, why isn't it selling the same numbers as this exclusive? Champion it, then they say Game Pass. Well, Game Pass is only owned by like 30 odd million people, where there's potentially 250 million to 2 billion in store when you factor in PC and Xbox combined. It's just a hypocritical, contradictory thing. Like, if you followed that, if you followed that ethos, basically the best-selling games in the world would be poorly selling because they don't have crazy high attach rates by being platform.
Exactly. Even like, I don't even know, like, you would say like Resident Evil, right? Like, it does create like good numbers at launch, right? But attach rates is like terrible, combining all the platforms together.
Thing is, it's like I'm really
lightly about Resident Evil. No, I'm kidding.
I'm really impressed with like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 because the first one did 8 million over 6 years, and this one has done 4 million in way less than 6 years. So like, that's why I'm happy. I'm mainly happy because I want to see Warhorse succeed, because this is their Witcher 3 moment. People realize their greatness now. Obviously, no one realized CD Projekt Red was as good as they are until The Witcher 3 happened.
The same thing with Larian.
The same thing with Larian, yeah. A lot of people were like, oh, we don't know who the fuck these people are. But when Baldur's Gate 3 released, you know who the fuck they are now, right? And you're going to pay attention to the next game they release. So I'm happy for Kingdom Come, because this is like, doing half of your first game sales in the first year is fucking insane, considering when the first game took 6 years to do 8. Like, I
do think this is a more polished and much more mass appealing game. I wish more people played it, to be honest. It's superb.
Thing is, it's not for everyone because it's a simulation-based RPG.
Of course,
so it's way more in-depth. But also, it's like the budget for this is only the equivalent $50 million is what the budget of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is. That's fucking insane when you consider some of the budgets.
Yeah, keep in mind, Yotei's budget is 60 million.
60 million for Yotei.
Like, Kingdom Come is like 50, and it was only developed by 250 people.
Kingdom Come 2 or Kingdom Come 1?
Kingdom Come 2, 250 people with a 50 million budget.
So listen, listen, I give all the credit in the world. They're, what are they called? Workhorse? Warhorse. They are they put together a phenomenal game. Everyone that's played it has literally had nothing but reviews that are ranting reviews about how great it was. So I will say though, like, that game to me doesn't, like, for me, that doesn't call out to me very much. That game it just seems like there's, I don't know, the world just seems so empty. Maybe that's me. I don't know.
It's like a real life night sim.
Yeah.
Well, not
like
even
medieval.
night, because you're not actually at night. But
I know.
Medieval. Yeah. If you the way I would explain it with people, like, if you just want to play as what it means to go up to becoming a knight, or like, I forgot what they call it, the sword bearer or something, like what the word is. Squire, like pre-night. There is actually no other game that does a better experience than that game.
That's what I hear.
Role-playing that.
Yes.
Yeah, like, there's literally nothing. Like, everything from just the culture, the politics, the world, the towns, the bartering, the merchants, the blacksmithing, everything that goes with it. Like even like weddings in medieval times, you'll experience that, and it's just so rich.
Did
in
you
that
play
regard.
it?
But
Nib?
Yeah. I have about 90 hours in it. I haven't beaten it yet, but
Wow.
but yeah, I have 99 hours in it. I think I'm quite far into it. It's just one of those when Death Stranding 2 came out.
How much of it is actually the sword fighting, the action?
So a lot of people have complaints about it. I actually really enjoy it, but because usually first-person sword fighting I hate. Like that's one of the reasons I didn't really like Elder Scrolls, even though I've tried it time and time again. I just find the sword janky. But this, with the like counter system, the like parrying and everything, and I don't know, it did like with the combos and things like that. It's like a deeper version of what you've typically become accustomed to in first-person sword playing. So I find it more strategic. It feels more realistic, and I really enjoy it.
Still, 50 million that's an impressively low number to get the amount of praise that this game is getting. No, it's good. I mean that in a positive light. That's amazing.
No, but it's like, bear in mind this, like this also brings about. This is something I mentioned on Twitter, and I mentioned it. Like people don't realize how fucking good like Eastern Europe and European game studios are, and they always fly under the radar because they make some of the best games, but people generally don't give them the time of day. Now, obviously, you have like super famous studios like CD Projekt Red, of course. You have Cry, the people that make Crysis, I can't remember. Techland. You have 4A Games, which does the Metro series. Crytek, yeah. You have all these people over here.
You know what it is, Death Singer, and this is me speaking. So I will always give a game credit where credit's due. That game deserves all the credit. It's probably going to get. Listen, I think a lot of people would say it may get a nomination for game of the year. There's a lot of games out there, but a lot of people have mentioned that game. For me, and I don't know if this is just a Western thing. It doesn't really. That it's kind of like a Western movie here in our country. Like a Western here doesn't call out to the entire nation as much as like a Michael Bay movie. You know what I mean? Where an F-16 blows up into a downtown area, and it's basically Call of Duty. What you're seeing right here, the Call of Duty games, like those types of things. Yeah. You know, the Wyatt Earps and this and that. I know people listening to the show are gonna be like, I love Wyatt Earp. I know, I understand that you do, but I'm just trying to say it doesn't get like that crowd coming in. That's what I'm saying. That type of game doesn't. It really is a specific group of folks that like that type of era. It's very slow paced. It's very like you, Death Singer. You love this, right? Choices you make impact the game later on.
It is
things of that nature, and you know, I would almost like an Outer Worlds 2 is more my style if I'm going to do choices and make decisions.
Like more American RPGs, right? Because when I think about, because there's a difference, right? Because check this out, right? Obsidian's American, Bethesda's American.
Yep.
All those are American, but then like Larian is European, Warhorse is European, CD Projekt Red is European, Owlcat is European. IOI is European. 4A, Sandfall, Remedy.
But see, I would say the only thing I would say.
Oh my god, I've never actually had it set out like that, but I just realized I much prefer European RPGs over American.
Like
RPGs.
European
That's so
RPGs
funny.
are just done completely differently compared
That's
to
so
American.
funny. I've always just lumped it as a Western RPG, but you're right. There is actually
I would say CD Projekt Red though is one that I would say I'm a big fan of. I think that they do very good work.
Oh,
Witcher,
true.
You know, the Witcher series, of course, even Cyberpunk, very very good.
Dude, I love that Phantom Liberty expansion. So.
Yeah, like see
oh my god, I prefer it to the main game. Yeah.
The thing is, when you lay it out like that, so you prefer the American style RPG, whereas I prefer more of the European style RPG, because Owlcat makes like the Pathfinder games, which require.
I can't wait for Expanse. Oof, it'll be amazing.
So you guys wait. Would you guys agree though that CDPR almost has more of a Western style than the others you're mentioning?
No, they're all Western. They just have different philosophy. Like you look at the philosophy of like an Elder Scrolls versus the philosophy.
I'm sorry,
of, like,
but you were saying you were divvying them up by American versus what? European?
European, yeah. Because
Okay,
they have two distinct
I'm
styles.
just saying CD. Yeah, but I think CDPR is a little bit more towards the American.
I think the writing though is still European because you know
think
they
so?
have that like cutting,
They're in
hard edged.
Poland.
No, I know where they're
and-
located. I'm just saying that the game itself plays like.
No, it's more hardcore. It's more grounded.
I agree.
Mm.
That's the word.
That's one of the things. You know, like at Elden Ring, not Elden Ring. Sorry, Elder Scrolls. There's this weird kind of like fake whimsicalness about it sometimes. Like, oh, we are going to the land, and whereas in Witcher, it's like, nah, fuck yourself. Like, you know, it feels a bit more gritty and raw.
It's just the writing's better. That's just the crux of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the writing's a little better. Yes, I agree.
And
the American RPGs are that good.
And to Redwood's point,
Right,
writing is so
yeah.
much better. And there's a reason why. If you notice, my top 5 RPG studios, 4 of them are European because they did like their writing teams are just so much better and they write more grounded stories. Like Elder Scrolls is your typical fantasy story, right? It's your high fantasy, magic, gods, all that kind. These have them, but like The Witcher is more like if you play The Witcher 3, it's more about Geralt going on this and he's going to try and find Ciri. He's got all the, and there's a lot of grounded stuff he has to deal with, real life issues that you have to deal with.
What's the Baron side quest called? That singer?
Oh yeah, it's about his family and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Bloody Baron or whatever.
The Bloody Baron, yeah. Like imagine that, like, with the baby, the trauma of the woman, and it's so rich and detailed. It's a different level of emotional.
And I felt the emotion. It's like when Geralt goes and finds the witch in the woods, and the witch says, "Oh yeah, I know what happened to Ciri," and you see him flip a switch. Like he was gonna tear her head off her shoulders if she said anything other than Ciri's safe and fine. Like Geralt was, you could see the father figure in him was like, "Where the fuck is Ciri? You will tell me right now, or I will behead you where you stand." And it's more grounded.
Yeah, I think it's like
into that. Whereas Elder Scrolls is more, let's go save the world from a dragon.
Yeah, it's like more whimsical. That's the writing that they choose to go with, right? So I mean, that's sci-fi. Yeah, you both did great impressions.
Mooch is feeling under attack. He's like these Europeans are attacking Yankee.
I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Let me defend our
Does
honor
anybody over here know how to make an RPG? I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, to be fair, America did have BioWare until they fell off a cliff.
Listen, I'm holding the last hope for that Mass Effect game with my game.
Oh my god!
After Dragon Age, you're still holding hope.
Don't hold your breath, Fred.
Listen, that's not my gambles game. That's not my gambles game.
Yeah, don't hold your breath,
Expedition
Fred.
33 is that a French developer?
Nope, that's European.
Yeah, French.
European.
Yeah, French.
French.
Well, European, right?
Yes. Somebody get Dessinger a map. Wait a minute. So hold on a second. We got.
Is it French? No, it's European.
It's because I was looking at a list of all the studios, and I was like, Guerrilla Games is obviously European. Arrowhead, who did Helldivers, is European. Like, there's all kinds of all the Metro games come from. Like, if you look at most of the games, like Europe is really up there.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people just think they don't give them the credit they deserve. But as I say, like Owlcat Games, The Expanse is going to be an experience. People don't know who the hell Owlcat Games is, and I don't blame you.
Mm-hmm.
But I do blame you because you should play the Pathfinder series of RPGs.
Didn't they make a Warhammer game, or am I bugging?
Yep. Warhammer Rogue Trader, which is fantastic. That's a nice tactical RPG if you're into tactical RPGs. Like, they are so good, but people just don't know who the hell Owlcat is. And when The Expanse comes out, of course they'll know what that is because everyone knows what The Expanse is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's seen the show. So, everyone knows what that's going to be. So that's going to be the Mass Effect that we're all waiting for. Because let's be real, it's the Mass Effect.
What was the other game that has Drew, I always butcher his last name, Drew Karpyshyn, that writer with old BioWare devs that are working on this game?
They're working on it now?
Yeah.
Exodus?
Yes, that's the game, Exodus. is literally like Mass Effect esque game. That
Oh,
Drew's working
sick!
on.
Really? Oh, sounds
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Drew wrote Drew Kaparsh, I believe, wrote Mass Effect 1 and 2. Didn't write
He
3.
did, yes.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's like all the best BioWare writers went to work on this game, and that's why I'm excited about it, because this is like pure BioWare. Whereas if you look at
that
BioWare
sounds
now,
exciting.
it's like all the good people left, and they went to this place. So it's going to be a fantastic experience. It's not going to be to the budget of a Mass Effect, because they're an independent team now. Like, they're not owned by EA, and they don't have the funding.
Let me do this. Singer, let me keep going because we're over the 3-hour mark here, and I want to get you guys to gaming and enjoying your weekend. And let's not forget, midnight is Call of Duty for the 8 of you that are going to play with me.
That looks terrible.
Right, it looks horrible. I know.
That
Listen,
campaign
Red.
was I saw Instagram reels. And I'm like, this cannot be Call of Duty.
Red,
Like, what is
listen,
Just
dude.
quickly before you move on,
Go
I
ahead.
just want to say one thing on this subject.
Go ahead.
I think we should take a moment to celebrate the fact that quality is being celebrated by gamers, right?
Okay.
Because look at the sales of like a Hollow Knight, of an Arc Raiders, of an Expedition 33, of a Yotei, of a Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. These are such unique, diverse, different types of gaming experiences and genres. Yeah, and they're doing incredibly well across the gamut of different platforms and everything. We're seeing incredible numbers across the board for all these different types of games, and I love that. I love that gamers are resonating with this, diversity and these quality of games. Like, it's a great thing. It's a great time to be a gamer.
No, that's a great point that people are taking recognition to these greater games that are being, honestly, and the numbers prove it, Nib. So you're 100% right. Babor says additional PS games are mostly R-rated. Zelda E. I'm not sure what Babor means there. William Aguilar is here. He says, I went hard online disproving all the lies that Tacky Bloomby. I don't know who he means, but I think he means who you.
Bloomberg guy.
He's talking about the guy Nib was talking about earlier. Yes. Was saying, he said, and then in parentheses, he did it like 5 different times. And parentheses, he says, then he faded into obscurity afterwards. So yeah, William agreeing with Nib on that. Shout out to William for being here.
Not just PlayStation, by the way. He does it with Nintendo as well.
Yes.
Makes stuff up about Nintendo as well. It's really weird.
That is odd. Very odd. Glinster says, thumbs down. This is interesting. I know we'll probably talk about this even more as we get closer and closer to the Game Awards, and that'll be a big topic as Jeff Keighley.
That is as well.
Monday, the nominees, right, will be released. Thumbs down to the 2026 Grammys. Best Video Game Score nominees for snubbing Expedition 33. Maybe this will give it a boost at the Keighleys, though, so we'll see. I love how people call it the Keighleys.
The Grammys is tough, though.
They barely, those are old judges. They barely know anything.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you went to the Grammys, I guarantee you, if you went to the Grammys and went to the judges, and they were like, Expedition 33, ooh, video game, ooh, no one gives a shit, but we don't know what the fuck that is. It's that kind of thing.
But you should have, listen, here's the thing, whether it's music for a video game or music for a commercial or a movie, if you are judging music, I would hope that you had a sound ear, right, that singer?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, if you notice, what wins a lot of the music category at the Grammys is like the films, those quirky,
understood.
Quirky.
I misunderstood. I didn't watch the Grammys, but Nib, did the Grammys did they have a video game music category?
I was gonna say I'm actually not sure. But if they did, it probably would be to still a video game specialist. Because I think, again, I think I may have even said this story before. I probably shouldn't, but the magazine is no longer running, so it doesn't really matter. But I used to basically ghostwrite for, a men's magazine, right? And you wouldn't think a men's magazine would be into gaming, but they had a gaming review section. But the guy, he's there to see naked women and stuff, right? He doesn't care about friggin', game. So he just used to give me the games and say, you do the reviews. You can keep the games.
Oh, wow.
Even though, it was still by someone who was really passionate about games. So I'd imagine even if Grammys do have something like that, I doubt they give it to someone who's completely oblivious to gaming. That would
Okay.
be a
Yeah.
bad look on their organization. Unprofessional.
Yeah.
It'll go.
I mean,
It'll go to that quirky indie movie that always seems to win it, where it's like made by like 2 people out of France or some shit, and all it is just still frames
mhm.
with some soundtrack over the top, and it's inspirational, and people are crying in the and the standing ovation, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Did I just watch and just leave? Like,
By the way, Mooch, have you talked about Dispatch?
Dude,
We
that
have not
game
gotten into
is
Dispatch.
Please do.
so good.
I'll tell you, Dispatch.
Oh,
Yeah. So
wait.
Wolf,
Really good.
you're playing it and streaming it, and
I streamed the whole playthrough. I streamed it every Wednesday when it came out.
so that's a game. So we've talked about Portal on this channel here for a good couple of weeks. I'm just going to say this, and then I'll let Wolf take the mic because Wolf's playing. I have not. That's a game that I'm looking forward to probably in the holiday, and that's a game that like screams to me. Play this on the Portal. It's something you can kind of relax, enjoy,
I
lay back on
played
the
about
couch.
30% of it on the Portal. It's
Yeah.
perfect for it, really.
So
I play it on the shit.
What's the
while I'm
sales?
having a dump.
What's the
Great.
sales pitch for it, Nib?
The sales pitch is when your kids and wife are hogging your TV, or
No, not
a
the
big
not
long
the
dump.
Portal.
No, he's talking about
Dispatch.
the game itself. I got you. Think of
My
Telltale
wife's like,
at its
your
prime.
shits
That
are
is
taking.
literally it.
She's probably thinking like I'm doing something dodgy in there. I'm
Nibs
actually
do-
just playing Dispatch.
Nibs doing Portal commercials. No, I'll start with Wolf and go right through because if Wolf read, you guys are all playing. I am not. All I see is people
I'm
say
playing
you
it.
gotta
I beat
buy
that
it.
game.
Gotta buy it. So what is it, Wolf?
Buy
What's the
it.
deal?
So, if you've obviously played a Telltale game, right?
Yes.
This is definitely that kind of style, but it is a very mature story, dialogue, all the above. The animation that they do in this game looks so damn good. There are no hitches in this game. Like when you make decisions and stuff like that, and the story switches. The Telltale games, you can kind of see like when it's making a shift. This game, no, everything is running nice and smooth. Pretty much like, I don't know if you've seen the trailer, Mooch.
Oh yeah,
When
I've
they
seen
initially
a
showed this
good
game.
amount of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer doesn't prepare you for what this game actually is. Like I was really thrown off by how will I say? The dialogue is very blunt. It is, man, they curse up a storm in this game.
Are the choices the same way as like the Telltale games where it comes up with 4 different choices you choose and then of course the story continues and do you take
the story
control?
continues.
Do you take
Some
control of the
things will affect
character?
Some things will affect it way later on.
Okay, do you take
Yeah,
control of the
it's near
character?
the ending of the episode.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what I mean when I
and-
say that? Like, you remember The Wolf Among Us? You would take control
Yeah.
of the character at certain points
No,
and
so
walk
you
around the
don't-
yard.
You don't
Yeah, you don't do that.
You don't do that. You can opt into QTE, or you could just get rid of that completely. And just
Yeah, I
do
mean the hacking
mini
scenes you got to
games.
do by yourself, but
Yeah.
like they have interactive scenes, which I left on for my initial playthrough.
What's the cost of the game, guys?
Like $26.
Yeah.
And it's only on PS5.
I think
and
it was.
PC.
So if you're doing it on console, I think it was like 40, and then it's like 50 for if you want the digital deluxe. The digital deluxe gets you the comics that kind of give you more story for some of the characters
Mhm.
that you don't get through the game, and a bunch of artwork. Considering if I really want to do that or not, but the story is really good. They're already talking about, hey, I think we might do season 2 now because
Yes, sir.
because they I don't think they were expecting the response that they got. Because they said they weren't working on a season 2, and now they're looking at it like, oh, maybe we do need to do that. And
Over 100,000 peak concurrent on Steam.
Yeah, and it sold. They announced it sold. Well, Gamatsu. I think it was a Gamatsu that Wario shared that it sold 1 million copies.
The thing
yeah,
is,
they came out and said it too.
thing is, you also have to remember it gets a lot of push because of Critical Role. Now, if you don't know what Critical Role is, obviously famous voice actors who do Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Mhm.
To Dungeons and Dragons actual play. That's how I found about it before it got announced, right? Because Matt Mercer is the DM, and then obviously Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, part of
Aaron
the cast.
Paul.
Alana Pierce is in this.
Yeah, so
and
Is she really?
Alana Pierce is in this, yeah.
and the thing is, I found out about it obviously because watching Critical Role, and they do announcements at the start of what games they currently voice acting in. like when Laura Bailey and Travis were in The Last of Us, they announced it on the show. Like, oh, by the way, we're working on this video game project, because they're all like, Laura Bailey is well-known voice actors,
Yes.
and so obviously they all said, "Oh, we're in the Dispatch," and then they did a sales pitch of what the Dispatch was.
Is Aaron Paul the main character or one of these?
Yeah, he's the main character. Yeah,
He's the
amazing
main
job, by the way.
character.
That's
Yeah,
awesome,
amazing.
man. That's
Recently, it said
for those that
he hopes that they do season 2.
I saw that quote. So just for those that don't know, I mean that's the actor that played Jesse in Breaking Bad. So
Yes,
Jesse
and he
Pinkman,
also played a character in Invincible and also Final Fantasy, King's Glaive.
Yeah.
He was the main character.
nice, Red.
I will,
that's right.
I
He
will
did
say,
do
I
some
said
work.
this.
No.
Said this on BRAP's podcast, right? I was also late too, by the way. Never mind. But I was saying to him, like, I don't know if you guys have this, but sometimes like I'll game like really focused gaming, one after the other, and then I feel not a sense of burnout, but games sometimes are like the effort they take and the it's just a different level of focus to like passive TV or music, right? And because I've been playing like Arc Raiders and Battlefield, like these are really intense games that you need a lot of motor skill, a lot of Arc Raiders is so stressful. Like every mission you go on, you could get grief.
Dude,
by some player.
every
You could lose all your
time, and God forbid you play a solo.
Literally.
Solos are the most nerve wracking.
Oh my god! Every time I extract solo, my heart is racing when I'm in thing. Anyway, so because of all of that, I was like, I might just like once I finish up with these, instead of going on to another game, I might just watch a few TV shows or a few movies or something like that. And then I see like Dispatch, and I'm like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Invincible.
Yes, it does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then I was like,
definitely does.
Yeah, and then everyone like on my time is blazing it, and I'm like, oh, really? Like, game of the year, this, that, it sounds amazing. And I looked at the Metacritic. The Metacritic is not super high, but the user scores are like crazy. In fact, I think right now this is the highest rated game on the entirety of PSN right now on the PlayStation Store. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And then I did it. And I'm telling you right now that there is not a better palate cleanser than this, because it itches both things. Like it's not mechanically super complex, but it obviously is interactive, and you do feel like you're having an impact. And the strategy callouts parts of it, it actually is quite can get quite hairy and sticky in micromanaging everything.
Let me ask a question. This is Nib, I don't mean to interrupt, but real quick. So, Nib, are you playing it currently or no?
Yeah. I'm on. I think I'm on season.
How people when they play? A lot of people play the old Telltale games. I'm not saying this for Dispatch, but how is the trophy handout? Are they throwing trophies at you, or is it? No, it's not like that.
I've barely got any.
I got how many? 22 out of 36, and I beat the game.
Okay,
I'm close to the platinum right now. There is one trophy that's bugged, and everyone's been complaining about it. So I hope they patch it very soon.
How many playthroughs, Wolf?
I'm on my second right now. I was able to do a lot in the first one, only because they do allow you to go back to specific points. So what I did, and I think they gave you like 6 saves you can swap between, and they allow you to copy They allow you to copy saves to different slots. So I just copied a save at certain points and just kind of went back and did certain things.
I didn't even know that.
Went back to my main save. So
I will say there's actually like voices in this that will fundamentally shape the rest of your play, especially in terms of which characters you pick and stuff. Like you literally could not see a certain character and have a whole different character for your playthrough, which is crazy.
Welcome to player agency, people.
Yeah, they do that with a couple of the characters. And what's crazy about Ad Hoc is they got interviewed, I think, before the game came out about and I didn't know this, that they were actually working on Wolf Among Us Season 2, and that they finished their part, but Telltale, for whatever reason, themselves are not putting out Season 2. They're pretty not happy. Ad Hoc. They were trying to be as cordial as possible.
Right. What's the playthrough for Red and Wolf that have gotten through it? What's one playthrough? How many hours?
I would say 8.
Yeah, because
an hour, a little bit less, or an hour each episode.
Yeah, because
how many episodes are there?
There's 8.
Oh, okay.
Because to give an overall synopsis, right? This is not spoiling the game. The main guy you're playing as he's an X hero. He doesn't have powers. He has a suit, but the suit is gone or getting worked on. He becomes a superhero dispatcher, hence the name of the game. So you're dispatching heroes out like in the system on a computer. Nib isn't lying when it comes to the managing of things. You have certain heroes that you use for certain things based on their skills, and things pop up on the map, and you have to select them in time, dispatch certain heroes to whatever is going on, and then you'll get something else coming up, and you're like, oh crap, I just sent this guy out there. He would have been perfect for this. And now you're left with the choices that you have, and now you got to make different choices, and you're gonna fail a lot. So and then you'll start to like really learn the ropes after a while. Your heroes do gain experience, and you can distribute skill points to like their certain attributes and stuff like that. So it can get pretty nerve-wracking when you're doing the actual thing.
There's a lot of strategy because like certain you can send like superheroes in duos or trios and so on, and certain combinations have more sort of kinship or bond. They have special perks if you send them together. Or synergy. That's the one. But then there's the whole thing of screw. I send two to do better at this particular task, but then I'm out two superheroes, and maybe their stats would be good for something else. And so you kind of have to, do I send one superhero for this job? Do I send two? Do I send a synergy one, but I need her intelligence? And if I send her with this synergy, then I'm losing my intelligence and all this other stuff. So there is a lot of like strategy to it. It's not just micromanaging, which is cool.
And the thing is, this is why I absolutely adore the game, because it is pretty much everything I look for in a game. Like, I love the micromanagement of, say, like a State of Decay, right? It's in this game. I love the player agency, like a good RPG, like a Baldur's Gate 3, or something where you have, or Outer Worlds 2, where you have great player agency. And it's like everything wrapped up in a Telltale game, and this is what, like, I don't typically play Telltale type of games, right? They don't really appeal to me. But this just hits all the buttons of what I like in RPGs and other games, and they just threw it all together. It's crazy.
You're playing it as well, that singer?
Yeah, of course.
He's loving it. Yeah.
I thought you were. Well, I thought you were knee deep in Outer Worlds too. I thought you were not putting any other attention to games.
Well, the thing is, I've got to a point in the Outer Worlds 2 now where I've basically at the end. So I'm getting this out of the way, and then I'm going to complete it. Because I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't want to beat it, because I know once I beat it, I have to go on to the next game, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of procrastinating at the end.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't want to do it.
You know what you were saying, though? You know what you're saying, Dessinger? Like, I think with Telltale games and other things, I don't always find the characters as characterful. This, because of the type of game it is, they're all superheroes, right? And they're all larger than life, and they're all crazy. They have their own perks and personalities, and I love the dynamic. So, like, who doesn't love a good, like, fucking romance triangle and stuff like that? All the way back from like Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa. Like, that shit's fun, and it's really entertaining. And there's just so many little dynamics going on. Like, sure.
That's the other thing I forgot to mention. Mooch, this is not a superhero team you're leading. It's the group of ex-villains that are trying to be heroes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are.
That's a good spin.
Are a handful. Yeah.
They're all assholes.
Yeah. The thing,
basically,
it also gives me kind of Marvel Midnight Suns. It gives me that kind of thing as well, where like you could send teams of superheroes and they have like relationships. Like, if you played Marvel Midnight Suns, you'll know, like, obviously all the characters could build up a relationship. Like, you have to build up Iron Man speaking, like, having a heart-to-heart conversation with someone like Scarlet Witch or something. And it's really dynamic, and I love these kinds of things, and it's in the dispatch. That's why when they initially showed it on Critical Role, before it was announced, they even said, "Oh, we're working on this game, Dispatch." They're fans of the show. Yeah. They sponsored them, and when I was like, "These people are working on it," I'm like, "Okay, this is gonna be the Telltale game for me." And lo and behold, this is what I want from my Telltale games from now on. This is the standard I'm holding them all to. If they don't meet this standard, which I know might be unfair,
they won't, dude. They won't. This is.
I know it's unfair, but like I'll play the sequel. Like, the sequel's already pre-ordered. It's already done.
You want me to be honest? I think like their next game will And let's say if Wolf Among Us Season 2 comes out, I think whatever their next game or Season 2 of Dispatch will be better than Wolf Among Us Season 2.
Oh yeah, I guarantee
Oh,
Dispatch.
yeah.
No,
Dispatch 2.
they've got an award-winning formula here for this game. As long as they stick to it.
Well,
Yeah.
they've also
I don't want to put my like console war.
they've
hat
also
back
got
on,
the commitment
and
of
I actually feel bad.
the voice
I feel
actors.
bad
Oh, I
because
know
like
what Nib is about to say.
yeah, because I was talking about it, and then I was talking in DM groups, right? And they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go. Is it on Game Pass?" I said, "I don't think so. I haven't actually checked, actually." But
No,
then
it's just
I was like,
PC and PS5.
"Yeah." Then they go to the
Yeah.
store. They're like, "Where is it?" Then I go on Wiki, and I'm like, "Oh shit! It's only on PlayStation and Windows." And I don't know how PlayStation luck out this because they haven't had like many games this year, but somehow like all the console exclusives that they have or exclusives. Because I also think Sword of the Sea is a phenomenal game, and at first I also thought that was multi-platform, and then I was like, oh shit, this is actually console exclusive, and now they lucked out with bloody Dispatch as well, because I would say these are two of like the best indie games of the year, I would say. And obviously they're
So let me ask you, because we're going to be spending a good 3-4 weeks probably on the. I don't usually like to get into it until like it's the week of, because that's like the excitement. But like, does Dispatch now get a nomination possibility?
Wait. I will say I think it will be for narrative. I think
Yes,
it'll get a nom for that.
I think he'll get.
I would be disappointed if it didn't get narrative.
The thing is now, like, we're getting to the point now where, okay, a lot of games will get snubbed out of the Game of the Year category, but I think a lot of games are going to get snubbed out of these other categories. Because bear in mind, a lot of these games in the Game of the Year will get nominated also for like the story, narrative, music. Like Expedition 33, pretty much gonna win the music one. I have a feeling, like the music category is going to that,
especially
even though it's gone. So other games could go in there, but it's so I feel bad for these games. But this year is just a really competitive year.
Outrageous.
Like, you look at the year in the total, like great games are getting snubbed. Now these games normally wouldn't, but this year is just too stacked. Like this year is
too stacked.
This is crazy.
Stacked.
Yeah.
Like
next year,
next year, beaten Dispatch. To everyone who's beaten Dispatch, Expedition 33 or Dispatch for narrative?
Expedition
for
33.
narrative.
The thing is, I didn't care for Expedition and dropped this.
Dispatch.
Expedition 33 is a great game for a story, but I'm sorry, I have to put Dispatch in there because it's not finished, and the story could be whatever the hell you want it to be. So,
thing is, I would see it, but the thing
yes, Expedition 33 is a longer game. Yes, I get it, but like as great as a game it was for me, I'm not really thinking about it anymore. So,
I would say in terms of like voice acting, Aaron Paul and Matt Mercer definitely should get nominations. And Laura. I'll up on Laura.
Yeah, they got
Laura,
star power.
Laura might, but the thing is, I think the voice actors even stacked this year. Like, think of all the voice actors, like the main characters we've had this year. Like, I expect what's his name from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to get a nominee. I can't remember his name. What's his fucking name? Who plays Henry?
So good in this game too.
Like this, every category is going to be highly competitive. So I'm sure I'm going to get disappointed Monday when the nominees come out and I see some games snubbed.
Gents, one more question then. Invisigo or Blonde Blazer?
Damn, I was just about to ask that, Noob.
Oh man,
Invisigo, absolutely.
Invisigo.
Yeah,
isn't it? You guys like your damaged goods, eh?
Now I gotta pick up this game.
Yeah.
This is an expensive week. It's an expensive week, right?
Blonde Blazer for me, man. Blonde Blazer.
I know you guys aren't picking up Black Ops 7, but there's Black Ops 7.
Absolutely not on my pick.
Have you not seen like that campaign?
Yeah, but the thing is, but Red, I don't play the campaign, dude. I don't follow Captain Stu Nuts into the dark and shoot left, shoot right.
Thing is though, I'm gonna Game Pass Call of Duty 6.5. Because it's gonna be what it's gonna be, but like the only thing I'll do is play zombies, and that's because they have what's her name coming back to sing the music. Can't remember her name. She's done all the Black Opses, all the great soundtracks, and it looks like the Zombies is back, round based and everything. So that's all I'm going to use it, and I'm going to play it through Game Pass. Like, there's no way I'm buying that game. Not with all the games I still have to play in the backlog.
That's
Like,
a
I
good
still got
point.
months
I'm
ahead.
not even touching Game Pass for that game.
Oh,
He's
wow.
not even going to Game
That's
Pass.
a skip. This is a big skip.
Listen, I can hear all this slander for Black Ops and G, but I'm going to be honest, man. I thought Black Ops 6 campaign was amazing. So I thought it was. And
yeah, no, it's
usually
it's
hate
weird,
Call of
though,
Duty
because
campaigns.
like Black Ops 2 campaign's good, and then hearing it was a sequel, and then seeing all this stuff come out, I was like, geez.
Yeah, it does look that
yeah, but
final boss
these
that they just
sections
showed.
are like these
Ugh.
are like where you trip out, isn't it? You're like
That's a
hallucinating.
lot
Yeah.
of though, and it's like boss like health bars now.
Yeah, I
and
saw-
health
saw-
bars for
yeah, it looks a
enemies.
bit crazy,
Like,
yeah.
This is just a bit.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it goes into the stupid territory.
They
really.
do this all the
Yeah.
time, right? Where they take 2 steps forward and then they'll take 1 step back. It's not the other way around. They generally will rebound after this, but this looks like this one's definitely a bummer, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
they always drop a stinker,
Right.
And then, they come they receive the backlash. But the thing is, they never get punished for it. Like, it's just always gonna sell. Okay, they might. This one didn't sell as much as the last one, yeah, but they still made their money because everyone's gonna jump in Warzone. They're gonna buy fucking Mickey Mouse and whatever his name is skins in there, Beavis and Butthead, and then
Well, didn't they say they're taking that
Well,
out of Black Ops 7?
yeah, they've
Haven't they? Wait. I will say, didn't they say that in the past, and then they like backtrack that with a.
well.
Like, I'm trying to remember what Call of Duty they said that they weren't going to do that.
I can
and
tell
then
you
they
right now,
released
since
it.
they've restated, Red, you might be right, but since they've restated it, they have not had anything
No.
come out recently that's at all like the Seth Rogens and Beavis and Buttheads and the.
well, hopefully not. But I mean,
they're
this-
pretty much coming off as they don't care about Battlefield 6, but let's be honest, they're like, oh shit,
well,
we gotta make changes.
Wolf, they're gonna
Now
care.
Arc Raiders is the one. stealing
Arc
that.
Raiders
The
too.
thing
Yeah.
is, though, did you notice how fast they turned around when Battlefield released? They immediately said, "Oh, by the way, we're making a game mode without skill-based matchmaking." They flipped that switch instantly.
in the middle of the beta.
The thing is, though, if Battlefield 6 didn't do what it did, I guarantee you they wouldn't have turned like that.
True.
They turned
Oh yeah, no,
heel real
could have been
quick.
status quo.
Yep, they would have been status quo.
They would have
but
been like, you're getting
they
home more
got
now, just like
threatened.
Fortnite.
The thing is, they got so threatened by Battlefield that they instantly pivoted, and it was hilarious to watch how
Yeah.
fast Call of Duty pivoted.
It was so
I
weird.
feel like bad for Battlefield a little bit because truly, if Arc Raiders hadn't come, my multiplayer gaming time would have actually
Yeah.
gone to Battlefield.
I had
all of it, but-
Nib, I got to agree with you. I was literally I had my finger right on the buy button for Battlefield 6, and then I tried Red Sec, which I think I told you guys last week. I thought I'm not going to sit here and critique it and say it's bad. I will say that I would rather play Warzone than Red Sec currently.
Yeah, me too.
Currently,
Yeah, I didn't like Red Sec.
I think
But the
I think Red Sec will grow into something prosperous. I do. So let's give them. I'm going to give them a little more time to cook. That's fine. But then Arc Raiders came out, and I'm at 40 hours on this game, and I even came home last night, and my team that I even looked like Nib for some reason I cannot seem to link up with you, but like shout out to Blaze 4K, shout out to Lazy. Those guys were like busy. I just got on last night and played 2 hours like strict solo and went out there. And I will say it's the first time I've been basically battling everybody in Arc Raiders. Yesterday I was just like from long distance. I'm pushing down the button. I'm like, "You friendly, bro?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "Well, I don't trust you. So put the gun away, because I got some loot here." And because if he did anything at all, I was just gonna absolutely just start. Right, but then he's like, "No, let's go." And we extracted. I did that like 3 or 4 times. Actually, had some really good solo experiences. The game just keeps reinventing itself every time you go to the surface. It's unbelievable. Every raid is different. Every raid is different.
It's like they took a heavy emphasis off, which they even said they did, Escape from Tarkov, right? Because Escape from Tarkov was the de facto extraction game, right?
This is the casual version of it.
This is the catch because Tarkov is a lot more punishing than this game. I would say there's a lot more things to it. And bear in mind, a lot of people are complete assholes in that game. But this game seems to be people are a bit more, you can actually talk in chat and be like, hey, you friendly? You want to split the drops? You want to go on the machine? And then you have to be careful because someone might troll you and just kill you anyway. Just, So it's
I would say, though, I feel like squads is like 95% are going to kill you, right?
Yes.
But solo is like 50-50. Like 50-50, you could get someone. I've had some really fun experiences where, like, I was saying again on BRAP's podcast, but yes, I think a couple of days ago I was playing and I had my mic off proximity. So I'm following this dude and I had that skin that everyone is prejudiced against. They say, like, if you wear this orange and black skin, then kill them on sight. And I'm like, come on, dude, I'm actually friendly. Like, and they're saying kill him on. But anyway, I'm following this dude. And he's like, get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from me. I don't trust you. And I was speaking into the mic like, dude, I'm a friendly. Like, chill out. I'm a friendly. I didn't even have my gun out. And then I didn't realize my mic was off. And every few seconds he turns around. He's like, I'm going to shoot you. Get the fuck out of here. Then I realized my mic was off. I go on the mic and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. My mic was off. I'm friendly. And he was like, I don't trust you, man. You've got that skin on. And I was like, do you believe everything you hear on the bloody media?
Oh, I hate that they're doing that. Like, I like that. So I even bought the torpedo skin today, the new one that came out, which is still looks like the one that they're saying looks, like the shady skin. And and I'm like, dude, same thing. They're like, oh, people are going to fire on you just on purpose because you're wearing that. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm like, this is a really good skin. I'm like, this is a great pack I got right here. I'm not.
I wear it because it's the best skin in the game.
I love
free.
it. Well, I was wearing the free one all the way till today. Like today I bought the one that came out this morning and that thing is beast.
But yeah, to like reward his trust, then like we did a few missions together, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He actually apologized. He was like, "I'm sorry, I was getting before." I was like, "Don't worry about it." Anyway, he added me. I even gave him the gear and stuff that he needed. So I would like when we partied up, I would drop it at the beginning of the level. And he was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then we met this other kid, this psycho kid. He's some young kid who. We were saying he's like AI or a developer or something because like not scared of anything. He would go in like to a Bastion fight with like no shield or no health, and we'd be like, "What the hell is wrong with you, dude? Heal up." And he's like, "Don't worry about it." And this crazy dude, he did this crazy thing where we were having a gunfight on the top of the control tower, like how high it is, right? And in the middle of the fight, he's like, "Watch this, guys!" And he just jumps off, and we're thinking, "Okay, he's fallen all the way to his doom. It's like hundreds of meters down below." And next thing you know, he landed perfectly on a zip line and went up to the building that the enemies were shooting from, killed them. And we were like, what the fuck? This is Rambo shit.
No, the thing is, it's like a lot of people, you'll find that it's like genuine skill. They're just really, really good at the game. It's like you find it in a lot of games. Like, for example, let me solo her, who always fought Melania with no armor, no gear, or no nothing. And it's just like, you're just stupid good at the game, and there's a lot of people that do that. It's like, oh, watch this, and then they'll go over it. And thing is that they understand the mechanics of the game, and they're just like on a different level to what you are.
Yes.
So you're like, okay, like I've come across it in other games, like Fortnite, for example. I came across it. I ran in. You could talk to proximity chat, and he's like, "Yo, check this out," and he just runs off and kills 4. And then comes back and it's like, here you go, here's a golden gun. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he just ran off. He said, wait here. Ran off, killed a bunch of people, then came back. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm so scared, dude. I'm like terrified. I'm like going slowly here, hiding behind this wall. I'm in the shadows. And like, these guys are just like, yep, watch this. Like, I'm just like, oh. It's great to have you on your team, though.
I guarantee you there are also people who probably used to escape from Tarkov, so they have no fear. Like, Tarkov players have no fear, so when they play in this game, they're like, oh, this is easy mode. Watch this shit. Because obviously they come from that game. So also you have to bear in mind, a lot of people who play these games are playing Arc Raiders as well, so you probably came across one of them. He's probably got like thousands of hours in stuff like Tarkov, so he has like zero fear.
Anyway, Dessinger, add me on the thing. Because we
Dessinger, I don't see you on my list either. We're friends on Steam. I know that. I don't think I see you on my friends list on Arc.
Well, are we even friends on there?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to check. Oh, probably because I'm appearing offline.
Yeah, if you're offline, that's different. Okay, so real quick here, I got the great Brian East. He says, remember the week before Battlefield 6 launched, how I said ABK will try to pull something to bring customers back. He goes, Pepperidge Farm remembers. So I said to him, what did you mean by that? And he goes, what is it there? Compromising with the matchmaking. So they did give that. I will say, Brian East, I had heard from other people to try and lure people over on opening weekend. People had said that I'd heard that maybe they were even going to allow people to play certain like TDM for free for the weekend to just, try the game out and this and that. Not that you'd really need to try it if you haven't tried Call of Duty out. I don't know where you've been. But yeah, nonetheless, I thought they would have done a little more than just that. I'm really, really interested to see as we approach the middle end of next week, especially before next week's show, how much Call of Duty gets impacted by the success of Ark and by the success of even Battlefield 6. But I think Battlefield 6 numbers have dropped due to Ark, but I think Battlefield 6 is still going to hurt Call of Duty, and I think Call of Duty is definitely going to be concerned about this.
Call of Duty is definitely hurt by this, but also, Mooch, you probably won't see me on much because I got to finish the Outer Worlds 2, but also currently there's the Simpsons season in Fortnite, and I still need to finish.
Well, God bless you on that.
And it ends next week. And also in World of Tanks, they got the Walking Dead collaboration, and there's a special tank and everything you can earn. So I'm currently grinding that. So
there's a Walking Dead,
and then League of Legends has its battle pass currently, the world's battle pass.
Wait a minute,
now. So
wait. There's a Walking Dead tribute or something in World of Tanks.
Yeah, there's a whole tank dedicated, and you could get the crew, and it's voice acted. The crew is obviously voice acted by the people who.
You can be Rick Grimes in a tank in World of Tanks.
Yep, like they do anime.
That's
they've done the Terminator. They've done Lara Croft. They've done all kinds.
Hey, listen, I mean, you guys know I'm one of the biggest Walking Dead fans of all time. I mean, listen, I've got Rick Grimes and everything, but I don't think I'm going to go ahead and grab that in World of Tanks.
Well, the thing is, I play it, but obviously, if you play the game, you may as well, because they only gave you 14 days to get it. Like, it's 40 level battle pass, and you only got 14 days. So I'm currently grinding that like crazy.
I say this with the utmost respect, and I can't believe you playing all those games plus playing the Outer Worlds 2. Okay, you must have your picture on a milk carton. Has anybody seen you lately? That's a lot of gaming.
It's just I'm methodical with it. Like I
You're
do the
great.
quest for, I do the quest for Fortnite, and the thing is, I don't solely play one game. Like I do the quest for Fortnite, and then I immediately turn it off. I don't play it any more than I have.
Okay.
And then I load up World of Tanks. I do my daily missions for each tank because each tank you have gives you X amount of points to the battle pass when you win. Right. So after I've won in every single tank that I have, I can't improve my battle pass anymore, so I just log off. I've done the quest, whatever.
What about like Fortnite?
Then I go to League. What?
Fortnite though, that's a game you just play for hours.
But I do the quest and then I immediately log off, right?
Oh, all right.
I don't.
That sounds like a job.
It does.
It's just I'm very methodical because I'm trying to balance three.
Do my task for the day and the next one. But Destico, I don't understand. Why haven't you completed Outer Worlds? How can you jump from Outer Worlds 2 without completing it just at the end and you switch to...
He's saying he doesn't want it to end, so he's kind of prolonging it.
Yeah, I did the same thing with The Witcher 3. I was so engrossed in the game and I was like, I don't want this to end, but I know it's got to end at some point.
I did do. To be fair, I did do that with Kingdom Come 2, but that's different. That's like 100 hours, man. Come on, how much time can you?
Well, I mean,
I am definitely going to finish it, but not over Death Stranding.
Still a bunch of things, but it's like the thing is, the Walking Dead Battle Pass literally got announced like last week on the Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was in the middle of playing Outer Worlds 2, and then I looked at the news, and I was like, oh, let me pause Outer Worlds 2 and do this Battle Pass real quick, because this Battle Pass is going to need my entire attention. So I could come back to a single player game easily,
right?
Because I go back to back RPGs. I don't have a palate cleanser. This is my palate cleanser because I go back to back on long RPGs.
You guys got me on. You guys got me to look into Dispatch this weekend, but I mean, there's just so much to play. Let me say this though, guys. We're hitting 4 hours here, and I unfortunately have to work tomorrow. It's still Friday. I do want to say thanks to everybody here, guys. I kept the panel here 4 hours. I know Red, you came in a little bit late, but still staying here over 2 hours. It's amazing. You guys are all awesome. We did actually, and I'm glad we did the Dispatch thing because I've seen it. I looked at it. I even watched maybe like 5 minutes of it just to see how much of the interaction there was, but I didn't want to give away the story, so I checked it out on Twitch, but then I got the hell out of there because I didn't want to ruin it. Marsh goes, just keep going, Mooch. Yeah, we'll do a 24-hour podcast on the Keeley's night. I'm kidding, of course. But honestly, thank you guys so much for the super chats. I appreciate that. Guys, please do hit the like button. Even though we've been here 4 hours, still 200 of you guys here. I appreciate it. Great turnout tonight. Big news week, but it depends. A lot of games coming out, so it's great to have you guys here, especially games coming out this evening at midnight. I'll go in reverse order here and say, yo, Red Hood, we got to get you on from the beginning of the show so we can have you here for all 4 hours. I love your take on gaming, buddy. I miss you being on the show more often. I know that, listen, life and family and duties come first, but we love you and wish you were on the show more. Red, let people know where they can find you, and I can't wait till you join us again.
Of course. You guys can find me, Twitter, RedHood240, YouTube, Twitch at RedHood420. Probably will stream Saturday afternoon.
Let's go.
2 to 3 hours. So yeah, you could check those channels. There'll be a multi-stream and stuff like that. So, but no, I appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like button, guys. Subscribe and all that jazz. And make sure to also check out Dispatch. Really good game.
Yeah, great to have you, Red. Like I said, me and Red have been talking behind the scenes for like probably 3 months to try and get him back on the show. With the schedule, it's been tough. But Red, great to have you, buddy.
Because I got a new job and stuff, but now it's like getting acclimated and stuff like that. So I'm pretty good going forward.
That's the news we want to hear. Appreciate it, Red. The great Wolf was with us tonight. Wolf, thank you as well, buddy. And again, I just want to let everybody know to please go over when you give all of your information to go over and follow Wolf, dude. The amount of work and effort into gaming this man puts in is unbelievable. You are going to be extremely impressed. Wolf, let people know they can find you, and thanks for joining us tonight, buddy.
Yeah, no problem, man. It was great being here. You can find me on Twitter, Wolfgang Nishima, and same thing on YouTube. It's a pretty unique name, so I don't think you have trouble finding it. But yeah, I try to be here when I can, Mooch.
Yeah, man.
As you know, I can't be here next week because I have my Creed VR fight night going. So
that's all right, man. We'll still promote that as well, Wolf. Like I said, I always check your stuff out, even if it's live. When we're going live, I'll check it out afterwards, Wolf. So I appreciate you being here, and thanks for reaching out this week as well, Wolf.
No problem. Thank you.
Always. And then Jack Move Johnny. Jack, great to have you, buddy. Sorry we kind of hijacked the whole end of the show here with Dispatch and a couple other items. But, Jack, great to have you on as always, man. Love it when you're here. And you know, to be honest with you, the topics on Sony stuff, you're one of the only people out there. Everyone knows that you love PlayStation, but at the same time, you criticize where criticism is needed. So, Jack, great to have you on the show, buddy, tonight. Let people know they can find you. And you've also been streaming on and off. I hope you stream as well. I always promote that. Anything that's going on with Twitch and you put it out there, I try to retweet it at all times. So, Jack, thanks for being here tonight, buddy.
Definitely appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate the panel. Appreciate the audience. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Jack Move Johnny, where y'all can find me. Weapon Wheel Podcast every Sunday, 4 p.m. Central. Solid Cast After Hours every other Saturday.
Yes.
10 p.m. Central. Tap in with me, man. And yeah, I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate that, Jack. Thank you. The great Death Singer, everybody. Death Singer, let people know where they need to find you. And you know what? Actually, Death Singer, I'll be hitting you up tomorrow. I got an idea for next week, but I'll run it by you and see what you think off the air, and then I'll promote it if you're in the mood. Let people know where they can find you, buddy. And thanks for being here tonight.
Oh, I'm very interested. Oh, and it's a pleasure being here. You know, great people. So I can chat to Jack in a bit. You know, Red Hood the same. It's man, this is great. And
it was a great
show. Check out the Dispatch. Also, check out. I know a lot of people probably still are side-eyeing Outer Worlds 2. Play it. Trust me, it's not what you think it is. It's gonna be fun. Like as that one dude, I can't remember his name. I retweeted it. But he did the same thing where a series of decisions led to you destroying a town, and you potentially losing an NPC that you could recruit. And I love repercussions. And if you enjoy RPGs, play with some repercussions, and it's really fun. So check out the Outer Worlds 2, because it is a great game.
Very cool, Death Singer. Appreciate that, buddy. And the great Nib. Nib, listen, I know you took a nap, as we call it over here in the States, but a power nap. That's correct. But I got to be honest with you, you came here stronger than ever. But Nib, thanks for being here, buddy. I do appreciate it. I know it's late for you and for Death Singer, so every minute that you are here really counts as double. I appreciate that so much. Let people know where they can find you, and thanks for being here, Nib.
Yeah, it's like always a pleasure. Just Twitter, X, NIB95 _
Awesome. Appreciate that, Nib. And shout out to a few people who had to leave early. Shout out to Jez7780. You guys all know him. Go over and check him out. He does the Gaming Grindhouse on Mondays at 8 p.m. BRAP, that's BRAP, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. That's Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Go over and check out BRAP as well. And I hopefully didn't leave anybody else out. I'm just going through really quick. Shout out to Eric, the producer. Always just great to say what's up to Eric. Guys, please, on the way out, shout out to JC2013, Neil Augusto as well. Guys, we're going to be over on Twitch.tv on Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. We're doing Arc Raiders, buddy. So go over there and check it out. If you're not following me, it's M00CHTV. Same as here, same on Twitter, same on YouTube, same on Twitch, everywhere. Go over and hit the follow button. We're going to be going live Saturday morning. Myself, Lazy, and Blaze. You're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you guys next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Until then, go play some games. We'll see you next week. Peace out. Good night.
Mooch, are you there, by the way? I had a question for you.